Chapter 1349. To be honest, Qin Feng did not want to bring Hua Xiaojun to the horseman gang's base. This woman was just an ordinary, weak woman. Moreover, he was severely injured. If a fight broke out, he would have to take care of Hua Xiaojun's safety. However, Hua Xiaojun was unwilling to leave. She still believed that she would definitely die. Since young Master Qiao insisted on going, Hua Xiaojun would follow him even if she knew she would die. Young Master Qiao, please don't say that. I'm your servant now, and I don't want to serve other people anymore. Please don't abandon me. I'll serve you with all my heart. Hua Xiaojun was about to cry as she spoke. Qin Feng was somewhat speechless, but he also felt a trace of pity for her. He hugged her tighter and said, "Don't be afraid, I'll protect you." Qin Feng sped up after he finished speaking. He was filled with anger, and he was going to kill everyone in the horseman gang's base. Hua Xiaojun was so touched that she was about to melt in Qin Feng's arms. She had been a lowly servant for more than 10 years. In the past, she was beaten and scolded by her master whenever she did something wrong. Before she met young Master Qiao, she would never have thought that her master would take the initiative to protect a lowly servant. Neigh! A horse neighed, and Flaming Dragon reared its front hooves. If Qin Feng did not hug Hua Xiaojun tightly, she would have been thrown off the horse. In front of them was a hilltop, and there were dozens of strong men guarding it. When they saw Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun, dozens of fierce horses rushed down from the hillside. Who dares to trespass the horseman gang's territory? Are you seeking death? Eh? The second elder is back. What's going on? The bandits who came down from the hilltop were dumbfounded. They surrounded Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun, but they did not dare to act recklessly. After waiting for 5 to 6 minutes, Ma Long and his men finally arrived at the foot of the hill. As soon as he jumped down from his horse, the black horse knelt on the ground. It was exhausted to death. Ma Long was enraged. He felt that Qin Feng had slapped him in the face. He walked over with his saber in hand. "You stinking brat, are you trying to show me that your horse is faster? Do you believe that I won't kill you with my saber?" The roar was like thunder, scaring the bandits into taking a few steps back. Hua Xiaojun screamed in fright, but she braced herself and stood in front of Qin Feng. Qin Feng's expression did not change as he said indifferently, "If you kill me, don't even think about getting the rest of the money." The saber finally stopped hovering above Qin Feng's head. Ma Long was so angry that his nostrils flared. At this time, another group of people came down from the mountain. Among them was a long-haired man with a red cloak. "Second brother, what's going on?" The man seemed to have landed at the bottom of the mountain from the waist of the mountain in just a few leaps. When Ma Long saw the man, he immediately became respectful. "Big brother, I went to Hua village and caught the girl that you were interested in." The long-haired man in the red cloak was the leader of the horseshoe gang, Ma Qing. When he saw Hua Xiaojun, his eyes lit up and he was about to pounce on her, strip her naked, and start a fight. However, when he saw Qin Feng, he was stunned. "Where did this brat come from? You dare to touch the woman that I like? You're courting death." When he saw Hua Xiaojun lying in Qin Feng's arms, Ma Qing's expression became ruthless. He immediately drew his saber and swung it down. However, a loud sound rang in the air. Ma Qing's domineering saber was blocked by Ma Long. "Ma Long, are you rebelling?" Ma Qing was stunned and stared at Ma Long in disbelief. Ma Long broke out in a cold sweat and quickly explained. "What are you talking about, big brother? Why would I rebel? I can't kill this brat now. He has a lot of money." Ma Qing's expression changed a few times, but he was still angry. "Humph! So what if he has money? If the leader of the horseshoe gang wants to kill someone, why would he care if he has money or not? Do you think the horseshoe gang is beggar? Do you think I don't give you enough money?" After being scolded by Ma Qing, Ma Long felt sullen, but he didn't dare to show it. In the entire horseshoe gang, only Ma Qing had stepped into the second stage of true qi. Ma Long knew that he couldn't win against his big brother. Big brother, don't be angry. Listen to me explain the situation in detail. As Ma Long spoke, he quickly took out a dozen or so gold bars from his bosom. They had taken them from Qin Feng. Instantly, cries of surprise came from the bottom of the mountain. The 50 or so horseshoe gang members gathered around were all dumbfounded. They usually killed, burned, and looted, and they had earned a lot of money. However, things like gold bars were precious. Even these mountain bandits rarely saw them. Ma Qing's pupils constricted, and his voice trembled. Where did these gold bars come from? Could it be that they were found on that brat? Ma Qing's guess shocked everyone. A person carrying a dozen or so gold bars on him, how rich was this guy? Big brother, they were found on that brat. If he wasn't so rich, how would I dare to block Big brother's knife? Ma Long quickly said. Ma Qing finally understood, and the anger on his face dissipated. He suddenly looked at Qin Feng with a sneer. Stinking brat, you're really rich. How much more money do you have hidden outside? Qin Feng had been secretly investigating the horseshoe gang's terrain. He found that the horseshoe gang was located in a barren mountain, and he couldn't see any houses around it. This was exactly what he wanted, and he was ready to make a move at any time. I have a lot of property, and I'm as rich as a country. Do you want it? Qin Feng looked at Ma Qing with a smile. The eyes of the mountain bandits lit up. Ma Qing shouted excitedly. Where did you put your property? As long as you give me all your money, I promise to spare your life. As for that woman, I won't play with her anymore. I'll give her to you. Ma Qing began to throw out all kinds of bait. Qin Feng laughed inwardly. Was he trying to trick him like he was a 3-year-old? Young Master Chiao, don't believe them. These mountain bandits are the most untrustworthy. Hua Xiuzhen saw through the scam and couldn't help but warn Qin Feng. Ma Qing was instantly enraged. He glared at Hua Xiuzhen and roared. You bitch, do you believe that I'll strip you naked if you keep talking? Hua Xiuzhen was so scared that she cried. She hid behind Qin Feng, feeling wrong. A wave of anger surged from Qin Feng's heart, as if it was going to burn him up. You ant like trash, how dare you speak disrespectfully to my people? Kneel and kowtow to admit your mistake, or else I'll teach you a lesson. Qin Feng suddenly roared angrily, stunning the crowd. Even Hua Xiuzhen was stunned. She looked at Qin Feng in a daze and felt that young Master Chiao had suddenly changed into a different person. The horseshoe gang finally came to their senses with great difficulty, and they immediately burst into an uproar. The 50 or so people gathered around all drew their long sabers from their waists. The cold light flickered, and it was so bright that Hua Xiuzhen couldn't open her eyes. Brat, how can you speak to the leader like that? Do you want to die? Leader, don't talk nonsense with this brat. If he's not willing to hand over his property, we'll chop off his hands and feet, cut off his flesh piece by piece, and make him wish he was dead. Let's see if he'll still talk then. These bandits were vicious, and their words scared Hua Xiuzhen so much that she trembled. However, a muffled sound suddenly came from the noisy crowd. Qin Feng unleashed his full strength and threw a punch, sending a row of bandits flying more than 10 meters away. The others were shocked, and they quickly came to their senses. They brandished their large sabers and slashed at Qin Feng. Motherfucker, you're courting death, brat! The scene of more than 40 bandits moving at the same time was spectacular enough, and Hua Xiuzhen was so scared that she couldn't move. However, she heard the wind whistling beside her ears. She didn't know when, but Qin Feng had thrown her onto the fire dragon horse. The fierce horse galloped into the distance. When Hua Xiuzhen came to her senses, she found that young Master Chiao was in deep danger alone. Brat, let's see where you can run to now. Qin Feng's current strength was too weak. He had just sent Hua Xiuzhen away when Ma Qing appeared in the air behind him. The large saber in his hand flickered, and he was about to slash Qin Feng. Rumble. However, at this moment, a loud explosion sounded, and the berserk true energy shocked the crowd. A golden light seemed to descend from the sky and landed behind Ma Qing. Ma Qing's expression changed greatly, and when he wanted to turn his head to look, his entire body suddenly exploded in midair. Bang, bang, bang! The sound of explosions rang out continuously, and the smell of blood wafted through the air. The group of bandits suddenly stopped, and their eyeballs and jaws dropped to the ground. That was their great master, a powerful expert at the second level of true energy. Yet he exploded in midair for no reason, and dispersed like fireworks. Ma Qing didn't explode by himself. He was killed by the Golden Fur Lion King's saber. However, the Golden Fur Lion King's speed was too fast, and the group of true energy level 1 bandits didn't even notice his appearance. "Huh! When did you come out, old man? Old fart, hurry up and scram. There's going to be murder here, do you want to die too? Great Master has been killed. Brothers, don't talk nonsense. Let's chop this brat into pieces and avenge the Great Master," Mao Long roared angrily. Looking at the sinister and sorrowful expression on his face, he was actually overjoyed. Now that the Great Master was dead, didn't that mean that he, Ma Long, had become the Great Master? The entire Horseshoe Gang was under his control. As for how Ma Qing died, Ma Long didn't think of Qin Feng and the Golden Fur Lion King at all. He thought that his elder brother's cultivation was incorrect, and it caused his body to explode. A bunch of ants dared to behave atrociously in front of this old man. The Golden Fur Lion King stood in front of Qin Feng with his saber, like a towering mountain. Looking at the 20 or so bandits pouncing towards him, the Golden Fur Lion King didn't move at all. He casually waved the Dragon Slayer saber in his hand, and immediately drew out 100-meter-long golden saber chi. The loud sound shook the entire valley. The long saber fell to the ground, and a deep ravine appeared in the ground within 100 meters. The group of bandits were instantly smashed into pieces by the explosion, and they didn't even understand the situation before they died. With this saber, the Golden Fur Lion King killed 6 powerful experts at the first level of true energy. The remaining bandits were stunned on the spot, and their expressions were that of seeing a ghost. Rumble! However, at this moment, an even louder muffled sound exploded. The Horseshoe Gang's mountain peak seemed to have been hit by something. The half-tall mountain peak shook violently, and it felt like the entire mountain peak was about to collapse. Chapter 1350. The bandits of the Horseman Gang were dumbfounded. They stared stupidly at the fiery red cannon on Qin Feng's shoulder. They really couldn't figure out what kind of weapon this was. Was it really convenient to use a big and round one? Rumble! While they were dumbfounded, Qin Feng proved the power of the fire cloud cannon. 3 fiery red cannonballs whizzed out and ignited a violent flame in the air. They were like 3 small suns that slowly rose and landed on the Horseman Gang's mountain. Immediately, a loud noise shook the heavens and the mountain exploded. It was like the prelude to the end of the world. Suddenly, dozens of black figures jumped out from the mountain. The bandits were resting in the cave and were frightened by this violent movement. "Big boss, what's going on?" The bandits that came out later didn't understand the situation and heard the other bandits yell. "Big boss is dead! Someone is attacking the Horseman Gang! Quickly come and help!" The group of bandits was shocked. There was someone in the Hua family village who dared to attack the Horseman Gang? Even the bailiffs of the Yamen didn't dare to come. Was this person tired of living? "Where's second boss? Who's causing trouble?" Someone yelled again. "Second boss is also dead. Brothers, don't talk nonsense and quickly kill those 2 fellows." The mountain bandits were extremely depressed. Both the first leader and the second leader were dead? Aren't these troublemakers too fierce? However, the bandits that came out later relied on their numbers and simply didn't put Golden Fur Lion King in their eyes. Suddenly, 5 black figures appeared in the air. The 5 bandits already arrived on top of Golden Fur Lion King's head, and the broadswords in their hands were about to fall. Rumble! A loud noise exploded. Golden Fur Lion King's expression was cold. He didn't even look at the people in the air and slashed horizontally with his broadsword. Instantly, it was as if the sky was falling and the earth was splitting. Before the sneers on the 5 bandits' faces could fade, their bodies had already exploded into bloody foam. The dozens of bandits that rushed over were suddenly stunned. They grabbed their broadswords and stood stupidly at the bottom of the mountain. They were truly scared silly by Golden Fur Lion King's strength. Where did this madman come from? He killed 5 level 1 true Chi experts with one slash? Could he be an expert from the Holy Gate? Lion King, be careful! While the mountain bandits were still in a daze, Qin Feng yelled. The Golden Fur Lion King hurriedly leaped up and instantly retreated to the empty space 100 meters away. The bandits of the horseman gang still didn't understand what was going on. How powerful was the golden-haired elder? Why did he suddenly run away? They saw that Qin Feng was carrying a fiery red cannon on his shoulder, but none of the bandits could recognize what it was. How could such a clumsy toy be used as a weapon? I'd be damned if I could kill someone. Where did this stupid bastard come from? How dare he behave atrociously in the horseman's territory? Brothers, let's kill this bastard together. Everyone came to their senses. They were afraid of the Golden Fur Lion King's might, but they didn't put Qin Feng in their eyes. Instantly, a dozen or so black shadows flew over and landed in front of Qin Feng in a breath's time. More than a dozen large sabers slashed down. The saber shadows were as dense as a net, setting off a violent saber wind. Rumble! Originally, Qin Feng wanted to stand still and look like a heroic hero of the generation. However, he couldn't help but take a step back. The recoil of the fire cloud cannon was too strong, and he couldn't withstand it with his current strength. The huge red cannonball shot out, leaving behind 100-meter-long fire dragon Chi in the void. The dozen or so mountain bandits didn't even have a chance to react before they were devoured by the fiery dragon. The fire cloud cannon landed at the bottom of the mountain, causing the ground to shake violently. The remaining 50 or so mountain bandits were scared silly, as if they had seen a ghost. Fuck! What kind of weapon is that? Why is it so powerful? Could it be the Scarlet Demon Red equipment? It really is the legendary godly weapon. Everyone, run for your lives. This group of people who lived in a desolate place had never seen the advanced technology of the outside world, let alone the upgraded version of the star technology in Qin Feng's hands. Seeing that the fire cloud cannon was completely red, they actually mistook it for the Scarlet Demon Red equipment. Qin Feng sneered in his heart. He looked at the bandits who had already started to cover their heads and flee like rats. He didn't plan to stop here. The fire cloud cannon fired again. In an instant, it exploded on the mountain peak. Debris and sparks fell from the sky, and many mountain bandits were buried in the ruins. After 5 consecutive fire cloud cannons were fired, Qin Feng didn't buy any more ammunition. One fire cloud rock cost 50,000 hedonist points, and he could only fire 5 bullets. Qin Feng was completely infuriated by the mountain bandits' disrespect towards Hua Xiaojun. Otherwise, he wouldn't have wasted his hedonist points to eliminate a group of mountain bandits. Qin Feng put away the fire cloud cannon, and another loud explosion sounded in the air. 6 clouds of black mist suddenly walked on the mountain peak, as if it had become a mountain of demons. The 5 kings of Verdant Sect and the ghost-faced evil reverend had their golden ghost head talismans activated. The 6 of them were experts in the Truchi realm, so they could kill the mountain bandits in half a cup of tea's time. The surrounding noise gradually subsided, and the black mist dispersed. The Golden Fur Lion King was also recalled into the system. It was as if nothing had happened. However, the ruins and the scene of blood flowing like a river indicated that a great battle had just taken place here. The horseman gang, which had been tyrannical in the Hua village for 3 to 4 years, was completely annihilated just like that. They were bandits that even the local yamen couldn't eliminate, but Qin Feng single-handedly eradicated them. A few gusts of wind blew, but the smell of blood was still somewhat strong in the air. Suddenly, Hua Xiaojun's voice came from behind. "Young Master Qiao, sob, young Master Qiao." Qin Feng hurriedly ran down the mountain. He clearly told Flaming Dragon Horse to take Hua Xiaojun to hide, so why did this girl run back? He saw that Hua Xiaojun had returned alone. Her silk dress was in tatters, and her originally fair face had a few bloody scratches. She held a wooden stick in her hand as she limped up the mountain. Xiaozhen, who injured you like this? Qin Feng rushed over to support her. Hua Xiaozhen was stunned at first, then she fell into Qin Feng's arms. Sob, sob. Young Master Qiao, I thought you were dead. Sob, sob, I was so scared. Qin Feng lightly patted her jade back and comforted her. Don't worry, I've already eliminated the horseman gang. No one will force you in the future. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she stopped crying. She looked towards the top of the mountain, and her body trembled again. The ground was covered in blood and minced meat. The horseman gang's mountain was even razed to the ground. This. Hua Xiaozhen was so shocked that she couldn't speak. She was a servant girl of the poor, so she couldn't understand what had happened here. Qin Feng couldn't explain, so he changed the topic. That's right, why did you come back by yourself? Where's Flaming Dragon Horse? Hua Xiaozhen suddenly became nervous and carefully said, Young Master Qiao, it's this lowly servant's fault. This lowly servant was worried about young Master Qiao's safety and jumped off the horse halfway. That Fergana horse might have gotten lost. Sob, sob, please punish this lowly servant severely, young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaozhen had heard Ma Long tell her about Flaming Dragon Horse's value. It wasn't something that could be bought with dozens of gold bars. As a pauper, Hua Xiaozhen couldn't even earn a single gold coin in her entire life. Now that she had lost young Master Qiao's Fergana horse, she wanted to bang her head against the wall and die. Great waves surged in Qin Feng's heart. He finally understood how this woman's injuries came about. The Flaming Dragon Horse was so fast that even Qin Feng didn't dare to casually jump off its back. Hua Xiaozhen, a weak woman, had fallen off the horse, yet she endured the pain and walked all the way back to the mountain top. Qin Feng was truly warmed by this woman's foolish thoughts. Xiaozhen, don't cry. That horse wasn't lost. Don't do this kind of stupid thing in the future. What if you fall off and something bad happens? Qin Feng had already taken out a bottle of healing powder from the Emerald Spirit Ring and carefully applied it to Hua Xiaozhen's wounds. Hua Xiaozhen's delicate body trembled, and she didn't dare to move. At this moment, she was so touched that she wanted to cry again. Young Master Qiao was the best master she had ever met. She couldn't wait to give her entire life to Qin Feng. Flaming Dragon Horse ran back by itself. When it discovered that Hua Xiaozhen had gotten lost, it also felt depressed. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen and jumped onto the horse's back. He casually shot out a few balls of fire of destruction, burning the top of the mountain to nothing. Although he was currently unable to circulate his true qi, the fire of destruction was the 10,000 beast true fire and didn't rely on true qi to activate it. However, Qin Feng previously used the divine skill interface to fuse the wind blade and the fire of destruction into the fire blade godly skill. Now, he couldn't use it because the wind blade required true qi to activate. This round trip took up a lot of time. It was already afternoon, and the villagers of Hua Family Village were restless the whole day. Today, they didn't even do any work. They all gathered at the entrance of the village and chatted intensely. Do you guys think the horseman gang's bandits will deal with us? An old man sighed while smoking his pipe. Everyone's faces were a bit nervous. Zhou Hai said, I already told Zhou Dufei to inform them. This time, we made a contribution. I believe those bandits won't make things difficult for us. Zhou Dufei was kicked unconscious by Qin Feng in the morning, and he still hadn't woken up. Someone else said, I think what Uncle Zhou said is reasonable. Now that Hua Xiaozhen is serving those bandits, she can be considered a member of the horseman gang, and that girl is also from Hua Family Village. The horseman gang's bandits will more or less give us some face, humph. Who knows if that slut Hua Xiaozhen will obey? Does that girl really think she's a young miss? She sneakily ran away before. This time, if she runs away or commits suicide, we're all finished. The crowd discussed, but no one was sure. Seeing that the sky was getting darker and darker, everyone didn't even have the mood to finish their meal. However, at this time, they heard the sound of horse hooves rushing over. Everyone's expression changed drastically, and they all stood up to look into the distance. There seems to be the sound of horses. Could it be the horseman gang? Eh? There's only one horse. That's Hua Xiaozhen and that young Master Qiao. Impossible, this is absolutely impossible. That wild man offended the horseman gang and should have been torn apart by 5 horses. How could he bring Hua Xiaozhen back? The villagers all looked like they had seen a ghost. Some people continuously rubbed their eyes until they were about to explode, but the scene in front of them didn't change. Chapter 1351. Xiaozhen? Young Master Qiao? Why, you guys? Wang Xiumei heard the commotion and immediately rushed out. After Qin Feng and Xiaozhen were taken away, this poor old grandma cried for an entire day. She cried until she was blind. Wah wah! Grandma, Xiaozhen is unfilial and made Grandma worry. Hua Xiaozhen jumped into her grandma's arms as soon as she got off the horse. The two hugged each other and cried bitterly. Neither of them thought they would meet again in this life. Qin Feng stood to the side and felt a little emotional. He thought of the women in Hero City, his family in the Qin Manor in the provincial capital, and his father in Devil Beast Mountain. Qin Feng also wanted to go home and reunite with them, but he had just arrived in China and found the situation here complicated. He was afraid he wouldn't be able to go back for a while. Hua Xiaozhen finally came back to her senses after crying for a while. She quickly wiped the tears from her grandmother's eyes and revealed a rare sweet smile. Grandma, don't worry. Young Master Qiao has already destroyed the horseman gang. No bandits will disturb our peaceful life in the future. Hua Xiaozhen's voice wasn't loud, but it was clearly heard by everyone. The villagers' expressions changed drastically. Many of them were so scared that they sat on the ground. Why, you crazy girl, don't talk nonsense. If you want to die, don't take us with you. Zhou Hai's voice was trembling. He didn't believe the horseman gang was eliminated even if he was beaten to death. The other villagers also came back to their senses and criticized Hua Xiaozhen for speaking nonsense. Witch, you're simply a witch. Hurry and get out of Hua village. We don't welcome you here. These two must have escaped halfway. I'm afraid the horseman gang will catch up soon. Those bandits don't have good tempers. They'll definitely be angry this time. Everyone thought Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen had escaped. They became even more nervous. If the horseman gang came again, they wouldn't be so easy to talk to. Uncle Zhou, hurry and tell your son to inform them again. Otherwise, it'll be troublesome if the horseman gang catches up, someone suggested. Zhou Hai shouted anxiously. My son is knocked unconscious, how can he go? Forget it, I'll go myself. You guys look after these two scourges. Don't let them escape. Zhou Hai impatiently ran away. The Hua family village people surrounded Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen. It looked like they were going to defend this place to the death tonight. Even Wang Xiumei couldn't believe that the horseman gang had been destroyed. This was too unbelievable. She immediately pulled Xiaozhen's hand and came to Qin Feng's side. Young Master Qiao, please take Xiaozhen and run. The further, the better. It's best if you leave distant Ice City and never come back. Qin Feng felt a bit helpless, but he didn't explain because no one would believe him even if he did. Hua Xiaozhen didn't believe it at first, but she saw the whole mountain of the horseman gang being razed to the ground with her own eyes, so she comforted Wang Xiumei. Grandma, young Master Qiao really destroyed the horseman gang. We don't have to worry about those bandits coming to make trouble anymore. Wang Xiumei was stunned and looked at Xiaozhen strangely. Xiaozhen never lied, so why did she lie today? The surrounding villagers sneered. They didn't believe Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen's nonsense at all. The horseshoe gang had a lot of people, and they were all powerful warriors. How could they be destroyed? Whether these people believed it or not, Qin Feng didn't care. He had already taken Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiumei back to the thatched hut. The villagers didn't dare to stop the three of them, mainly because they were worried about Qin Feng's skills. This person had knocked out village tyrant Zhou Dufei twice. He was too powerful. However, everyone didn't disperse. They split into two groups and guarded the front and back doors of Hua Xiaozhen's house. They were afraid that Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen would escape. After entering the house, Qin Feng began to heal his injuries. Hua Xiaozhen was completely relieved, and a warm smile appeared on her face from time to time. On the other hand, Wang Xiumei was extremely anxious. She kept urging the two of them to quickly escape. This made Hua Xiaozhen feel helpless. By the time Qin Feng and the other two had finished their dinner, Zhou Hai had finally rushed back. He looked as if he had seen a ghost, and his body was still trembling. "Uncle Shou is back." "Huh! Zhou Hai, why didn't the Horseshoe Gang people come with you? They can't be really angry, right?" Oh no, Hua Village is going to be unlucky. Everyone, hurry and escape through the night. The Horseshoe Gang bandits are going to start a massacre. It's all that bitch from the Hua family's fault. She caused everyone to end up like this. Zhou Hai hadn't even said a word, and the villagers were already talking all at once. Zhou Hai finally came to his senses, but the shock in the depths of his eyes hadn't disappeared. Even now, he couldn't understand why the Horseshoe Gang's mountain had disappeared. Over 100 fierce and cruel bandits disappeared with it. It was as if the Horseshoe Gang had never appeared in this area. "The Horseshoe Gang is gone." Zhou Hai's voice trembled slightly. The villagers who were about to return to their houses to pack their things and escape suddenly stopped and looked at Zhou Hai in confusion. "The Horseshoe Gang is gone? What does that mean? Uncle Zhou, can you explain it more clearly?" Zhou Hai looked at the crowd in confusion and repeated. "The Horseshoe Gang is gone. There's no Horseshoe Gang nearby, and not a single bandit can be seen. Could it be that I was hallucinating?" The crowd was stunned, and some even suspected that Zhou Hai had gone crazy. "Dad, what nonsense are you talking about? I went to the Horseshoe Gang's mountain to inform them this morning. Did you go the wrong way?" Zhou Defei had already woken up. He was knocked out twice by Qin Feng and was about to explode with anger. Zhou Hai had lived in this area for more than 40 years, so how could he go the wrong way? "It's gone, it's really gone. The Horseshoe Gang is gone. Ghost, I must have seen a ghost." Zhou Hai seemed to have really gone crazy. He covered his head and screamed as he ran away. The villagers were dumbfounded. After a while, someone finally came to his senses and said, "Something's wrong. Who wants to go to the Horseshoe Gang's mountain with me? Let's go, I'll go with you." Zhou Defei brought a few people and rushed to the Horseshoe Gang. The rest of the villagers hadn't even eaten dinner. They were so hungry that their stomachs were growling, but no one dared to leave Hua Xiaozhen's house. Now that the situation was unclear, they had to continue watching Hua Xiaozhen and young Master Qiao. After eating, Qin Feng went out for a walk. He was amused by the villagers' behavior when he saw that they were still guarding outside the door. When he came back, Hua Xiaozhen came over anxiously. "Young Master Qiao, I've found out what you wanted to know." Qin Feng pulled Hua Xiaozhen to the woodshed and asked in a low voice, "You're talking about the Holy Gate's disciple recruitment?" Hua Xiaozhen realized that Qin Feng didn't want others to know about this, so she said in a low voice, "Yes, young Master Qiao. There's still some time before the Holy Gate selection. It's tentatively set to be in half a year, but the exact time is still uncertain." Qin Feng was a little anxious. "There's still half a year? If that's the case, doesn't that mean I have to stay in this desolate place for half a year?" However, other than the Holy Gate selection, there seemed to be no other way. At least, Qin Feng had no clue about it at the moment. "Young Master Qiao, why you must enter the Holy Gate?" Hua Xiaozhen felt sad when she saw Qin Feng's depressed expression. Qin Feng didn't need to hide it from Hua Xiaozhen. He nodded and said, "I'm here to go to the Thousand Shadows sect and the Spirit Beast sect. No matter what, I have to go." Hua Xiaozhen's mood became even gloomier. She suddenly realized the huge gap between her and young Master Qiao. If young Master Qiao really entered the Holy Gate half a year later, she obviously wouldn't be able to enter. At that time, she would have to be separated from young Master Qiao. However, Hua Xiaozhen couldn't wait to serve young Master Qiao for the rest of her life. What's wrong, Xiaozhen? Qin Feng felt the change in Hua Xiaozhen's emotions. Hua Xiaozhen hurriedly squeezed out a smile, shook her head, and said, It's nothing, young Master Qiao. It's getting late now. Let me serve you to the main room to rest. Hua Xiaozhen didn't say what she was thinking. She felt that she was just a lowly servant. How could she hinder young Master Qiao's big plans because of her own selfishness? Qin Feng didn't ask further, but he didn't plan to get up and leave. There were only 2 rooms in Hua Xiaozhen's house. The main room beside it, and the storeroom that Qin Feng was currently in. Only the main room had a small bed. In the past, Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiumei had squeezed onto the small bed and depended on each other. How could Qin Feng sleep on the same bed as Wang Xiumei? He also couldn't sleep with Hua Xiaozhen and let Wang Xiumei sleep in this cold and damp storeroom, right? I'll sleep here tonight. You can sleep with your grandmother. Qin Feng took off his jacket and spread it on the damp and cold weeds. Hua Xiaozhen was so frightened that she cried out, Young Master Qiao, hurry and get up. How can you sleep here? Hurry and go to the main room and sleep on the wooden bed. I'll sleep here with grandmother. Qin Feng knew it would be like this. The women's thoughts here were too scary. Let him sleep on the bed and let grandmother sleep in the cold and damp storeroom? Qin Feng really couldn't do it. Don't say any more. You're disturbing my rest. Qin Feng could only put on a straight face and pretend to be angry. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that tears fell from her eyes. Young Master Qiao, don't blame me. It's all this lowly servant's fault. This lowly servant deserves to be hit. Hua Xiaozhen raised her hand to hit herself. Qin Feng hurriedly stopped her. Xiaozhen, in the future, without my orders, you're not allowed to hit yourself. Do you hear me? Hua Xiaozhen's heart was filled with warmth. She nodded and carefully looked at Qin Feng. Qin Feng couldn't help but stroke her beautiful hair. He hugged her and lay down beside her. Let grandmother sleep in the main room. Tonight you'll sleep here with me. Hua Xiaozhen wanted to say something, but in the end she didn't. Her eyes became moist again. She realized that young Master Qiao was too good. Hua Xiaozhen thought to herself, how good would it be if I could meet young Master Qiao when I was born and serve him from a young age. Young Master Qiao, get up first. I'll put on an extra layer of clothes for you. Hua Xiaozhen came to her senses. She hurriedly took off her silk dress and laid it under Qin Feng. The 2 of them wore white cotton clothes underneath. These things were probably the underwear that people here wore. The room was cold and damp. Hua Xiaozhen's thin body shivered from the cold, but she pretended to be fine. She didn't sleep on the clothes and ran to the side to lie down on the weeds. Chapter 1352. Zhou Dufei, what's the situation? Are the bandits of the horsemen angry? Huh! Did you guys come back by yourselves? Why didn't the bandits come back with you? Everyone became nervous. They felt that something was wrong. Zhou Dufei and the others were dumbfounded. Just like Zhou Hai, they also found that the hilltop of the horsemen was gone. They searched for the whole night, and almost turned the whole place upside down, but they didn't find a single person. Even if the horseman was wiped out, the hilltop should still be there. The bandits' corpses shouldn't have disappeared, right? But now, they didn't even find a fart. Son, did the horseman disappear? I told you yesterday, but you didn't believe me. Zhou Hai was also in the crowd and shouted excitedly. Zhou Dufei had to accept this fact. He said to the crowd, My dad is right. The horseman is really gone. It's like they disappeared from this area. The hilltop is gone, the bandits are gone, everything is gone. Zhou Dufei's words stunned the villagers. How could such a thing happen? This was simply a fantasy. But the other people who came back said the same thing as Zhou Dufei. Now, they had no choice but to believe it. They couldn't all be crazy, could they? The news of the horseman's disappearance spread throughout the 3 neighboring villages early in the morning. Those bandits not only harmed Hua village, but also the neighboring villages. The villagers were shocked. They didn't believe this nonsense at first. Even the yeomen of West Town couldn't do anything to the hundreds of bandits of the horsemen. How could they disappear overnight? However, many bold villagers formed teams to check the situation. In the end, they confirmed that the horseman gang had really disappeared. They had really disappeared. The hilltop was gone, and the bandits were gone. It was as if the horsemen had never appeared in this area. The news spread, and the villagers of the 3 villages in West Town were in an uproar. Everyone was overjoyed and felt more excited than the new year. Qin Feng had long since heard this news, but he stayed in his room to treat his injuries as if nothing had happened. However, the true qi in his body was unable to circulate, which made him feel somewhat helpless. Once again, Qin Feng began to think of a way to enter the Thousand Shadows sect. The Sacred Gates disciple recruitment would take at least half a year, and Qin Feng did not want to wait that long. He had to think of a countermeasure as soon as possible. Hua Xiaozhen saw the horseman gang disappear with her own eyes, but she still couldn't believe it. Wang Xiumei was even more shocked. Yesterday, Qin Feng told her many times that she didn't believe him. Now, the 3 villages had spread the news that the horseman gang really disappeared. Until the afternoon, this shocking news was still spreading. A burst of hurried horse hooves rushed over, causing all the villagers to run out. Could it be that the horseman gang appeared again? When everyone saw who it was, they all felt relieved. It was not the bandits of the horseman gang, but a group of bailiffs from the West Town Yamen. Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen also walked out of the house. There were a total of 12 bailiffs. They wore the same iron armor and had large knives at their waists. They stood at the village entrance on tall horses. "Where is the person in charge of Hua village?" The bailiff at the very front rode a black horse. He looked to be in his early 30s and had a dignified expression. The villagers of Hua village were nervous. As poor people, they could not afford to offend either the bandits or the bailiffs. Zhou Dufei ran out with a face full of smiles. This village was not like the outside world, where there was a village chief. The person in charge here was basically a village tyrant. "Sir, what instructions do you have for me?" Zhou Dufei's attitude was respectful. The head bailiff said coldly, "Someone spread a rumor that the horseman gang near West Town disappeared. Did the news come from your Hua village? You unruly people, how dare you spread this kind of rumor? Aren't you afraid of losing your head?" After understanding why these bailiffs had come, everyone let out a sigh of relief. Zhou Dufei continued to smile. "Sir, the news did indeed come from Hua village, but it wasn't a rumor. The bandits of the horseman gang really did disappear. Even their mountain peak couldn't be found." The head bailiff was called Zhangjin. After hearing Zhou Dufei's words, he suddenly froze. Then, he pulled out the large knife at his waist and angrily jumped off his horse. "You unruly people dare to spread rumors? Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? The horseman gang has a lot of people, how could they disappear just like that?" Zhou Dufei felt a gust of wind and was so scared that he knelt on the ground. "Sir, spare me. I'm telling the truth. If I'm lying, I'm willing to die." The broadsword in Zhangjin's hand hovered above Zhou Dufei's head. His heart was filled with doubt. These poor people were all cowards, so how would they dare to lie to his face? The Zhou Dufei in front of him was clearly a coward. Could it be that what he said was true? Zhou Hai finally came to his senses. Seeing that his son was about to be killed, he immediately knelt in front of Zhangjin. "Sir, my son didn't lie. The horseman gang is really gone. I didn't believe it at first, but later I personally went to see. I hope that sir can investigate it clearly." The villagers were all afraid. One by one, they stood up and expressed the truth of the horseman gang's disappearance. They weren't speaking for Zhou Dufei. They were afraid that Sir would not believe them and kill the entire village. Zhangjin's subordinates stared at each other, not knowing what to do. Even Zhangjin was confused. All the villagers in Hua village said that the horseman gang was gone. They couldn't all risk their lives to spread rumors, right? But how could the horseman gang be gone? As the head of the constables, he had encircled that mountain more than 10 times. Even now, he still hadn't exterminated the group of bandits. Zhang Jin didn't continue. He turned around and ordered his 2 subordinates. Go to the horseman gang and take a look. Come back quickly and report. The 2 constables immediately rode away. Zhang Jin and the rest of the people stayed in Hua village to wait for news. If these villagers were lying, Zhang Jin would start a massacre. Sir, why don't you come to my house first? I'll prepare some good wine and food for you. Zhou Dufei let out a long sigh of relief after escaping from death. He was a little clever and started to curry favor with these constables. This place was about 1 li away from the horseman gang. No matter how fast the 2 constables were, they would still need some time to return. Zhang Jin followed Zhou Dufei to his house. Halfway there, he suddenly stopped, and his eyes fell on Hua Xiaojun. You come out! Zhang Jin suddenly pointed at Hua Xiaojun. He was attracted by this woman's delicate and refined beauty at first glance. Hua Xiaojun kept her head down and didn't want anything to happen. She didn't expect to be noticed by these constables. This made her so anxious that she wanted to cry. Sir, what do you want? Hua Xiaojun still didn't dare to raise her head. She knew her beauty, and because of it, she only worked as a servant for the daughters of rich families. This was the first time she worked as a servant for a man. Hua Xiaojun's voice was as soft and seductive as spring water. Zhang Jin liked her even more. Raise your head. Hua Xiaojun was secretly anxious, but she had to raise her head. When she raised her head, it was like a blooming epiphyllum. Seeing this, Zhang Jin exclaimed in his heart. Even the constables behind him were burning with lust. That's right, come with me. Today, you will serve me. Zhang Jin's tone was unquestionable. After speaking, he turned and left. However, after taking 2 steps, he suddenly stopped and turned around to stare at Hua Xiaojun in disbelief. You lowly servant, I told you to follow me. What are you standing there for? Are you tired of living? Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she started to cry. However, she walked towards Zhang Jin. She knew that these people were from the West Town Yamen. She was afraid that if she offended them, even her grandmother and young Master Qiao would be implicated. However, before she could walk out, she was blocked by Qin Feng. Hua Xiaojun raised her head and felt that young Master Qiao's back was like a majestic mountain. It gave her a sense of security and warmth. Xiaojun is already my servant. She will never serve anyone else. Zhang Jin had been overbearing from beginning to end, pressuring the villagers to the point that they couldn't breathe. However, Qin Feng was even more domineering than him. His words caused the crowd to gasp. Is that brat crazy? He even dares to go against people from the Yamen? What kind of background does this young Master Qiao have? I feel like he's very powerful. I heard that he's not from here. No matter how powerful he is, it's useless. He came to West Town to play with people from the Yamen. I say he won't live past today. Many people looked at Qin Feng with schadenfreude. It was as if he was really going to be unlucky. Zhang Jin froze for a moment, then flew into a rage. Brat, who do you think you are? So what if she's your servant? Now that I've taken a fancy to her, she's mine. Qin Feng was also a bit angry. If it weren't for the fact that they were in Hua village, he would have already blown this brat who didn't know his place. My lord, please calm down. Young Master Qiao is indeed my master. This lowly servant has nothing good. I've already served young Master Qiao many times and am not fit to serve my lord. I hope that my lord won't blame me. Seeing that a fight was about to break out, Hua Xiaojun was so scared that her face paled. She hurriedly came out to plead for Qin Feng. The crowd cried out inwardly, and the way they looked at Hua Xiaojun suddenly changed. This woman had already been played with many times. She was a broken flower, and in the divine great land, this kind of woman would be spurned. Zhang Jin's heart sank, and he didn't feel good. The women that other people played with always felt like a pile of shit. However, when he looked at Hua Xiaojun's beauty again, his heart began to stir. As expected, you're a lowly servant. You don't have any sense of shame. What's the difference between a woman like you and a courtesan? Hurry and get over here and serve me well. Zhang Jin gave Hua Xiaozhen the title of a courtesan. This way, it was reasonable for him to play with Hua Xiaozhen. Hua Xiaozhen felt wronged. In order to protect Qin Feng, she purposely said that she had given her body to master. However, she didn't think that Zhang Jin would not let it go. Qin Feng's anger burned the heavens, and he was ready to attack. If worst came to worst, he'd just kill these Yamen runners and leave with Hua Xiaozhen. If worst came to worst, he'd just move to another city. How could he let these ants bully Hua Xiaozhen? Chapter 1353. Sir, please spare my granddaughter. This old woman is willing to serve you. Before Qin Feng could make a move, Wang Xiaomei suddenly knelt in front of Zhang Jin. Everyone was taken aback, finding it somewhat funny. That Zhang Jin had taken a liking to Hua Xiaozhen, so what was this old hag doing here? Who could bear to do that? Zhang Jin was so angry that his eyeballs almost popped out of their sockets. He pulled out his large saber and was about to hack Wang Xiaomei. However, Qin Feng was faster than him and punched Zhang Jin in the stomach, causing him to retreat 3 steps before he could stabilize himself. Whoosh! Suddenly, the sound of swords being unsheathed could be heard. The 9 Yamen runners surrounded Qin Feng, ready to fight at any moment. You unruly commoner, how dare you attack Sir Zhang? I think you're tired of living. Kneel and wait for your execution. Otherwise, we'll tear you to pieces. The group of Yamen runners spoke ruthlessly, but none of them actually attacked. Qin Feng's punch was so powerful that it made them feel some fear. Zhang Jin was also stunned. He even forgot the pain in his body and looked at Qin Feng again. He didn't see any true qi flow on this person's body. Where did he get his strength from? A lowly commoner like you dares to behave atrociously in front of me? Capture him alive and tear him to pieces! Zhang Jin roared, and the 9 Yamen runners immediately moved. However, a muffled sound came from Qin Feng's body, and a fiery red cylinder was placed on his shoulder. Everyone was stunned. No one had seen such a thing before. The villagers began to discuss it. What is this? Can such a big and round thing be used as a weapon? Don't tell me it's directly placed on someone's head to trap them? This person is dead for sure. How dare he offend the Yamen runners? He's just bluffing. The Yamen runners and Zhang Jin were all shocked. They even stopped their attacks. Qin Feng ignored their reactions and retreated a few steps. Just as he was about to blow up these ants, Zhou Dufei suddenly ran to Zhang Jin's side. Constable, you can't kill that brat! Zhang Jin's expression turned cold. He roared. Why can't I kill him? Do I need you to tell me what to do? I think you must be tired of living. Zhou Dufei trembled in fear. How could he be so kind as to speak up for Qin Feng? He was just afraid that if the two of them really fought, the innocent would be harmed. If he died, who would he go to reason with? My lord, I don't dare. It's just that he has a lot of gold bars and a Fergana horse. Moreover, the destruction of the Horsehead gang is closely related to him. Zhou Dufei lowered his voice and revealed the situation. Zhang Jin's expression changed. He didn't care that Qin Feng was rich. After all, how much money could a commoner have? However, the destruction of the Horseshoe Gang made him a little worried. How could the Horseshoe Gang be destroyed for no reason? Could it really be that Chiao fellow's doing? Speak clearly. What does the destruction of the Horseman Gang have to do with that kid? Zhang Jin pretended to be arrogant, but deep down, he was a little uncertain. Zhou Dufei hurriedly said. The Horseshoe Gang had their eyes on Hua Xiaozhen. Yesterday afternoon, they came to capture her and that Chiao fellow went with them. Then, the two of them came back at night and disappeared with the Horseshoe Gang. This is very strange. Zhou Dufei explained the situation, and Zhang Jin became even more nervous. He had led the Yamen's bailiffs to attack the Horseshoe Gang's mountain more than 10 times, but they were unable to destroy the mountain bandits. That Chiao fellow went to the Horseshoe Gang and disappeared? This was indeed very strange. The 9 bailiffs were still glaring at Qin Feng. Hua Xiaozhen cried and hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly. The villagers were so scared that they didn't even dare to breathe loudly. The atmosphere was deadlocked. "Put away your weapons and follow me." After a while, Zhang Jin suddenly sheathed his sword and left with Zhou Dafei with a cold expression. The 9 bailiffs heaved a sigh of relief and hurriedly left with Zhang Jin. After everyone left, the villagers all heaved a long sigh of relief. Some of the more cowardly people sat on the ground and wet their pants. Wang Xiaomei was also quite frightened. She hurriedly ran to Qin Feng and Hua Xiuzhen and urged them to run for their lives. "Young Master Qiao, let's leave this place." Hua Xiuzhen was also afraid. Compared to the ruthless mountain bandits, the Yamen's people were more terrifying. Qin Feng didn't want to leave. He could ignore the lives of the other people in Hua village, but he couldn't ignore Wang Xiaomei's life. The bailiffs were all fierce and overbearing. How were they any different from the Horseshoe Gang's mountain bandits? Qin Feng believed that if he left with Hua Xiaozhen, Zhang Jin would definitely kill Wang Xiaomei to vent his anger. However, Qin Feng didn't mention these concerns. Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiaomei didn't know about it. Seeing that Qin Feng didn't want to leave, they felt helpless. Zhang Jin and his subordinates had already arrived at Zhou Dafei's house. The Zhou father and son took out the best wine and dishes from the family's collection. "Big brother Zhang, are you really going to let that brat go so easily? That brat is too arrogant." Everyone sat around the square table in the yard. The bailiffs were all suppressing their anger. As bailiffs of West Town, they had never been talked back to by a villager. Zhang Jin was even angrier. He slammed the table and shouted, "Humph! How can we let that brat go so easily? Let's wait for Little 5 and Little 6's news and see if the Horseshoe Gang has really been destroyed." The bailiffs discussed, but they still didn't believe that the Horseshoe Gang had been destroyed. Zhou Dafei just happened to come up with a bottle of wine. He hurriedly said with a smile, "Sirs, I can guarantee with my head that the Horseshoe Gang has really disappeared." Everyone was stunned again. Could it be that the Horseshoe Gang had really been destroyed? This matter was simply too inconceivable. Zhou Dafei knew that these bailiffs wouldn't believe it for now because he didn't dare believe it when he heard it from his father. He personally went to look for it and confirmed the truth. "Brat, tell me in detail. How was the Horseshoe Gang destroyed?" Zhang Jin asked coldly. Zhou Dafei kept a fawning smile on his face. He realized that his chance to make a fortune had come. As long as he treated these officials well, he could use their connections to get some good jobs. "Lord Zhang, no one knows how the Horseshoe Gang was destroyed. It seems that it suddenly disappeared from this area in the afternoon. However, I'm sure that the disappearance of the Horseshoe Gang has a lot to do with Qiao. That's because the second leader of the Horseshoe Gang took Qiao and Hua Xiaozhen back. After that, the Horseshoe Gang disappeared." Zhou Dafei told them everything he knew without missing a single word. Zhang Jin and the others listened with bewildered expressions, as if they were listening to a fairy tale. Zhou Dafei didn't care how the Horseshoe Gang disappeared. He was more concerned about what would happen next. He continued, "Lord Zhang, the Horseshoe Gang is really gone. Now you should consider claiming credit and getting rewards." Zhang Jin's eyes lit up. The bailiffs slapped their thighs and yelled, "That's right, big brother Zhang. Now that the Horseshoe Gang has been destroyed, we've earned a lot. These bandits have lived in the West Town area for 3 to 4 years. The county magistrate has always withstood the pressure from the prefectural magistrate. Now that the Horseshoe Gang has been destroyed, the West Town bailiff's office has made a great contribution." "That's not right. We didn't destroy the Horseshoe Gang. Even if there's a merit, it's most likely that it's that bullshit young Master Qiao." The crowd continued to discuss. The light in Zhang Jin's eyes became brighter. How could he give such a great merit to Qin Feng? At most, he would find a chance to kill that brat and take the merit. "All of you, shut up!" Zhang Jin suddenly roared, causing the crowd to quieten down. He continued, "This time, I led you to the Hua village to destroy the bandits. With everyone's heroic efforts, the bandits were all eliminated, and the hilltop was destroyed by us. When we return tomorrow, we will report this to the county magistrate. Do you all understand? Zhang Zhen's words woke everyone up. These bailiffs were all smart people and immediately nodded to show that they understood. At this time, Zhou Dafei came over with a smile. Sir Zhang, why you see? Zhang Zhen understood Zhou Dafei's meaning and impatiently interrupted him. This time you were the one who tipped us off to eliminate the bandits. When the time comes, I will mention you to the county magistrate. Zhou Dafei was so happy that he almost cried out. Zhou Hai admired his son's wit. He hurriedly ran back to the house and sliced the last kilogram of beef he had hidden. Everyone discussed the plan and felt very happy. Then, Zhou Dafei brought up another important matter. Sir Zhang, what do you plan to do with that Qiao guy? Zhang Zhen's smiling expression immediately became cold. He slammed the table and roared. That brat dares to oppose me. Just wait until we leave the village and hack him to death. Zhou Dafei hated Qin Feng very much. He also wanted Qin Feng to be hacked to death, but now was not the time to kill Qin Feng. Sir Zhang, that brat must be killed. However, before we kill him, we need to get his money. Zhou Dafei had previously mentioned that Qin Feng was very rich, but Zhang Zhen and the others did not take it to heart. As people from the Yamen, they had many ways to earn money. They were not lacking in money. What's a bit of money? Do you think I'm a beggar? Zhang Zhen's expression became cold and somewhat unhappy. Zhou Dafei broke out in a cold sweat and hurriedly explained. Sir, please don't be angry. I wouldn't dare to think of you like that. However, that Qiao guy is really rich. He casually took out 12 gold bars. Yesterday, when the second in command of the horseshoe gang came to capture Qin Feng, the villagers saw Qin Feng take out 12 gold bars. It was no longer a secret. Tisk, it's just 12 gold bars. Zhang Zhen's face was full of disdain. However, halfway through his sentence, he was so shocked that he almost fell off his chair. Damn! What did you say? 12 gold bars? Are you sure it's not 12 copper coins? Zhou Dafei was speechless. Why would I tell you about 12 copper coins? However, he did not dare to complain. He put on a smile and said, Sir Zhang, it really is 12 gold bars. Although I fainted at the time and did not see it, the entire Hua village saw it. Moreover, the second in command of the horseshoe gang also checked the authenticity of the gold bars in front of everyone. They are definitely real gold. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site for the latest news. Chapter 1354. Zhang Zhen and the others were stunned. That was 12 or so gold bars. Even they had never seen so much money before. They thought Qin Feng was just a poor commoner, and that his so-called money was just a few copper coins. It seemed like they were wrong. Seeing the shocked expressions on Zhang Zhen and the others' faces, Zhou Dafei continued. Other than gold bars, that guy also has a top-notch Fergana horse. It's said that just that horse alone costs dozens of gold bars, and there's no market for it. Everyone was truly shocked. They were puzzled. How could that brat be so rich? Where is that Qiao guy from? What does he do specifically? Zhang Zhen had already started to have devious thoughts, and started to ask about Qin Feng's situation. Zhou Dafei hurriedly said, I'm not too sure about that guy's background. He just arrived a few days ago and isn't a local of distant Ice City. Knowing that Qin Feng wasn't a local, Zhang Zhen immediately smiled lightly. Humph. Since he's not from our side, then we can deal with him however we want. That brat dared to offend me, so I'll just take his money, play with his servant, and then kill him. Zhang Zhen didn't care about Qin Feng anymore. The other bailiffs all agreed with this method. Zhou Dafei and his son were secretly pleased. They couldn't wait for Qin Feng to die, and now their wish was finally going to come true. After discussing business, they started to drink and chat. It wasn't until the middle of the night that the two bailiffs who went to investigate the situation returned. Just as the villagers said, the horseman gang really disappeared. Even the mountain where the base was located couldn't be found. Last night, Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaojun to sleep in the woodshed. He dreamt that Lin Bei climbed into his bed in the middle of the night and touched her in his dreams. Hua Xiaojun was tormented and didn't sleep well. She was so scared that she almost cried a few times. Early in the morning, they heard a commotion outside. The village entrance was already surrounded by villagers. Zhang Jin brought a group of bailiffs and surrounded Hua Xiaojun's house. A bailiff broke in and scared Hua Xiaojun so much that she jumped up. What do you want? Hua Xiaojun was very scared herself, but she instinctively stood in front of Qin Feng. She was only wearing a thin layer of white pajamas, which accentuated her sexy figure. The bailiff stared at her, causing Hua Xiaojun to tremble in fear. Little beauty, don't be afraid. Big brother is here to take you to the yamen to receive your reward. The yamen runner had an evil smile on his face. His eyeballs were practically glued to Hua Xiaojun's chest. Qin Feng had already stood up and was holding Hua Xiaojun in his arms. This woman's body was really soft. Qin Feng realized that she wasn't even wearing a bra. Young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaojun looked at Qin Feng with an aggrieved expression. Qin Feng patted her head and comforted her. His gaze turned cold as he shouted at the yamen runner. Who let you in? Get out! The smile on the bailiff's face suddenly disappeared. He unsheathed the large knife at his waist and swung it at Qin Feng. Hua Xiaojun screamed in fear, but she saw Qin Feng standing in his original position without moving. Just as the blade was about to land on his head, a loud explosion sounded in the room. Rumble! Blue lightning flashed and disappeared without anyone noticing. The yamen runner who had leaped into the air exploded like fireworks. Blood and flesh splattered on the surrounding walls. In the blink of an eye, he was gone. The crowd outside the house did not know what had happened inside. They only heard a loud noise that felt like an earthquake. Hua Xiaojun was the only one who saw the situation clearly. Her small face had long since turned pale with fright. She saw young Master Qiao take out a bowless crossbow from somewhere and shoot out a blue light to blow up the bailiff to death. Young Master Qiao! Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she cried. Qin Feng killed the yamen runner? She trembled nervously in Qin Feng's arms. Before she could finish, 6 black shadows jumped into the room. The 6 yamen runners saw the blood and flesh on the walls and almost vomited in disgust. What did you do, brat? Where's little 6? One of the yamen runners asked with a trembling voice. The other 5 people were also dumbfounded. Little 6 had clearly entered the house. Now, there was only Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun in the house. What was left was a pool of blood. Little 6 had clearly been killed. However, this brutal method of killing had shocked this group of ruthless bailiffs. Do you want to know how that idiot died? I can use you to demonstrate it again. Qin Feng looked at the yamen runner with a playful expression. The yamen runner was so scared that his legs were trembling. Last night, they heard that Qiao went to the horseman gang. Then, the horseman gang completely disappeared. This person was too strange. The yamen runners were afraid of him. Don't do anything stupid. I don't want to know how little 6 died, the yamen runner said immediately. Qin Feng's face turned cold. He roared, Then get out of here! The 6 yamen runners hurriedly left the room. The woodshed was like hell. They didn't want to go back, and even if they were beaten to death. The villagers outside stared at each other. No one knew what had happened inside the house. Zhang Jin's brows were tightly furrowed. Seeing that his 6 subordinates were so frightened that they could barely walk, he didn't have the courage to enter the woodshed to see what was going on. A group of bailiffs and villagers waited outside the door. Before Qin Feng came out, no one dared to barge in. After waiting for a few minutes, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun came out one after another. Hua Xiaojun was already dressed and was helping Qin Feng put on a silk coat. Qin Feng passed through the crowd and stood in the middle of the yamen runners. He enjoyed Hua Xiaojun's considerate service as if nothing had happened. His actions made the villagers speechless. That was a lord of the yamen. Brat, you killed a yamen runner? Zhang Jin glared at Qin Feng coldly. That guy was spying on my maidservant. Killing him was letting him off easy. Qin Feng didn't avoid the topic. The crowd gasped. The villagers had guessed that the Yamen runner who entered the room first was dead. Now that they heard Qin Feng admit it, they felt different. Hua Xiuzhen was scared to death. How could young Master Qiao admit this in front of everyone? She hurriedly stood up and anxiously shouted, "Lord, young Master Qiao didn't kill that Yamen runner. He wanted to take advantage of me, so I stabbed him to death." Hua Xiaozhen was too obedient and loyal. Qin Feng liked this girl more and more. Zhang Zhen's expression became colder and colder. He scolded Hua Xiaozhen. "Bullshit! Do you think I'm a 3-year-old? My subordinate has already been killed, and you think you can kill him with a single stab? You're protecting a criminal. Come back to the Yamen with me." Zhang Zhen brought people to surround Hua Xiaozhen's house early in the morning. His goal was to take Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen away. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she wanted to cry. She wasn't afraid of death, but she didn't want to see young Master Qiao suffer. "I killed him! If you want to take him away, then take me back. Don't wrongly accuse young Master Qiao. He really is a good person." Hua Xiaozhen screamed and screamed, but Zhang Zhen didn't listen to her. The villagers were so scared that they didn't dare to make a sound. The Zhou father and son stood in the crowd and smiled strangely. They knew Qin Feng was in trouble. "Okay, we'll go back with you." Seeing that the atmosphere was in a deadlock, Qin Feng's words shocked everyone. Even Zhang Zhen was dumbfounded. "Young Master Qiao, why you?" Hua Xiaozhen looked at Qin Feng dumbfoundedly. She couldn't guess what he was thinking. Wang Xiumei rushed over and grabbed Qin Feng's arm. She said, "Young Master Qiao, you can't go. If you go, you'll die." Zhang Zhen regained his senses and angrily scolded Wang Xiumei. "You old bastard, shut up. If you say another word of nonsense, I'll kill you." Wang Xiumei looked at Zhang Zhen with fear in her eyes. These people were all officials of the Yamen, but they were so cruel to the commoners, killing them at the drop of a hat. How were they any different from the bandits of the horseman gang? Qin Feng had long since disliked Zhang Zhen and the others. However, Hua village wasn't a suitable place to kill. He comforted Wang Xiumei and then looked at Hua Xiaozhen and said, "Xiaozhen, do you want to go with me or stay at home?" Hua Xiaozhen hugged Qin Feng's arm tightly and said without hesitation, "If young Master Qiao wants to go, then Xiaozhen will follow you in life and death." Qin Feng had guessed that Hua Xiaozhen would make such a decision. However, when she said it, Qin Feng felt warm inside. He was a stranger in the divine great land, and he didn't have any family or friends. However, he had met Hua Xiaozhen, an obedient and loyal maid. He felt lucky. The two left with Zhang Zhen and the others. The villagers stood at the entrance of the village and watched for a long time. Qin Feng hugged Hua Xiaozhen and rode on Flaming Dragon Horse. Zhang Zhen and the others were shocked when they saw the handsome horse. Zhou Dafei was telling the truth. This brat really did have a Fergana horse. Zhang Zhen and the others felt their hearts itch. Flaming Dragon Horse was extremely fast and ran at the front. At this time, they had reached the sparsely populated mountainous area. Qin Feng felt that it was time to make his move. He whispered into Hua Xiaozhen's ear, "Xiaozhen, you ride Flaming Dragon Horse and leave first. I'll come find you after I kill those people." Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she immediately grabbed Qin Feng's sleeve and shook her head with all her might. She said, "No, I don't want to leave young Master Qiao. Those bailiffs are very powerful. Young Master Qiao, why don't you take me and escape? Even if you have to go to the ends of the earth, this lowly servant will follow young Master Qiao." Qin Feng rolled his eyes. Weren't they just a few bailiffs at the first level of true qi? There was no need to run for their lives. "Xiaozhen, listen to me. I even destroyed the horseshoe gang. How could I not defeat those bailiffs?" Hua Xiaozhen was stunned for a moment. She still couldn't figure out how young Master Qiao had destroyed the horseshoe gang. She suddenly thought of the scene in the woodshed. Young Master Qiao seemed to be hiding a treasure. That thing could kill people without them knowing. It was really too powerful. But, Hua Xiaojun was still unwilling to leave Qin Feng. Without waiting for her to finish speaking, Qin Feng slapped her perky butt. You servant girl, are you not going to listen to your master? If you dare talk back again, believe it or not, I'll throw you away. Hua Xiaojun's charming face first blushed, then immediately trembled in panic. She was actually scared to tears. Woo woo! Young Master Qiao, please calm down. This lowly servant won't talk back again. This lowly servant deserves to be beaten. Qin Feng was about to faint because of this girl. Hua Xiaojun had developed the rigid mentality of a servant over the past 20 years. She was afraid that the masters she had served in the past were all very cruel. If she did anything wrong, they would slap her. Qin Feng felt a bit uncomfortable. He wanted to find all of Hua Xiaojun's previous mistresses and slap those lowly women's faces. For the fastest and error-free reading, please bookmark this site and read the latest. Chapter 1355. Under Qin Feng's persuasion, Hua Xiaojun finally agreed to leave first. While they were secretly planning, the bailiffs behind them were also discussing in secret. Big brother Zhang, that Fergana horse is so fucking fast. Even our district magistrate's warhorse isn't as good as his, hee. Anyway, that Fergana horse will be ours in a bit. That's over 30 gold bars. Big brother Zhang, when do we make our move? Why don't we bring these two to the yamen first? We'll do whatever we want then. The bailiffs all talked at once. Qin Feng had a lot of money on him, and Hua Xiaojun was a stunning beauty. Now that the horseman gang had been destroyed, they felt that they had been really lucky recently. Zhang Jin furrowed his brows as he thought of a plan along the way. He didn't want to bring Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun back to the yamen. That way, the money and beauties would all belong to the district magistrate. Zhang Jin looked around and suddenly said, Let's go a bit further. We'll make our move when we're near the pass. The dozen or so bailiffs were startled, but they quickly regained their senses. A playful expression appeared on their faces. They had long thought of killing Qin Feng along the way and splitting his money. Now that Zhang Jin had expressed his opinion, everyone immediately expressed their approval. This area was barren, and not even a ghost could be seen. The main means of transportation in this great land was horses. How could ordinary poor people afford to buy horses? At most, it was merchants who had horse caravans. After walking for a while, Zhang Jin saw that the environment was about right. He suddenly yelled at the crowd. Brothers, charge! The 10 bailiffs were already prepared. With a kick of their legs, the war horses beneath them immediately galloped forward. Hua Xiaojun screamed in fright. A trace of a cold smile flashed across Qin Feng's eyes. He was also prepared to make his move nearby. Neigh! Flaming Dragon Horse suddenly neighed. Qin Feng jumped off, and Hua Xiaojun was carried away by the horse. Flaming Dragon Horse was extremely fast. It was like a ball of fire galloping in the wind. By the time the 10 bailiffs surrounded Qin Feng, Hua Xiaojun was long gone. Not good, that woman ran away. Someone cried out in fear. Zhang Jin also rushed over on his horse. When he saw that Hua Xiaojun and the Fergana horse had disappeared, he immediately blew his beard and glared at them. Stinking brat, you really have guts. Stay here and wait for death? Although Zhang Jin was angry, he felt that it was strange. He saw that Qin Feng was surrounded by everyone, but his expression was still indifferent, as if he couldn't see them. That's where you're wrong. I'm not staying here to wait for my death. I'm going to kill all of you. Qin Feng sneered. He didn't take these yamen runners seriously at all. Zhang Jin flew into a rage. He pulled out the large saber at his waist and shouted, Brat, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. I'll give you one last chance to live. Hand over all your assets, and I'll spare your worthless life. The 10 bailiffs had cold expressions on their faces. They rode on their horses and surrounded Qin Feng. Each of them looked like fiends. If an ordinary commoner saw this, they would have knelt down and begged for mercy. Oh? Do you really want everything I have? I'm just afraid that you won't dare to accept it even if I take it out. Qin Feng had a carefree expression on his face. Everyone was on their guard. They couldn't see through Qin Feng's behavior. There wasn't a trace of true qi flowing in this guy's body. He was obviously an ordinary person. Where did he get his confidence from? I've lived for so long, and there's nothing I can't pick up. Hurry up and take out your treasures. Zhang Jin lost his patience and looked impatient. Qin Feng flipped his hand, and a pink sword appeared out of thin air. The long sword didn't move, but it let out a light sword cry. Pink light flowed around the sword as if it had a life of its own. When everyone saw the cosmic flying sword, their eyes immediately widened. Some people's jaws dropped to the ground. They recognized the quality of this spiritual sword at a glance. It was a rare pink equipment. Big brother, this brat actually has a spiritual weapon. Oh no, this is an immortal sword of different quality. If you have this sword, you won't have to fear even if you meet an expert at the second layer of true qi. Exclamations of surprise rang out. These Yamen runners had never seen a rare pink equipment in their lives. At most, they had seen an orange-grade spiritual weapon. One of the Yamen runners couldn't resist the temptation. He was the closest to Qin Feng. He suddenly jumped off his horse and reached out to snatch the cosmic flying sword from Qin Feng's hand. Stinking brat, hurry up and hand over the immortal sword. Otherwise, I'll take your dog life. Qin Feng stood motionless on the ground. A cold smile flashed across his eyes. He raised his hand and threw the cosmic flying sword at the Yamen runner. You really want it? I'll give it to you. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't understand why Qin Feng was so generous. That was a pink spiritual sword. In the hands of Qiaoanhao, it was as if it was of little value. The Yamen runner who jumped over was stunned. He even wondered if he was dreaming. Seeing that the flying sword was about to fall into his hands, the Yamen runner's smile suddenly froze. The flying sword suddenly accelerated. It was so fast that it was dazzling. Before anyone could figure out what was going on, the Yamen runner's body fell from the sky. The instant he hit the ground, his head rolled more than 10 meters away. Only then did blood spurt out from the Yamen runner's neck like a fountain. It was a horrifying scene. At this time, the sun was blazing, but Zhang Jin and the others were shivering from the cold. An expert at the first stage of true qi had died just like that. No one even knew how he died. Everyone immediately turned to look at Qin Feng. Their eyes were filled with fear. This man's aura was simply too strange. Is there anyone else who wants this immortal sword? I'll give it to him for free. The air froze as Qin Feng's indifferent voice rang out. How could the Yamen runners still dare to take the immortal sword? They felt that it was a life-reaping sword from hell. Zhang Jin finally came to his senses. 2 of his subordinates had been killed by Qin Feng. At this moment, his eyes were bloodshot with anger. He leaped up and brandished his sword. Stinking brat, let's see how much ability you have. Rumble. This sword was wild and unruly. It was like a mountain falling from the sky. Qin Feng didn't dare to take it head-on. His figure suddenly turned into a black shadow and disappeared into thin air. Everyone was startled and hurriedly looked around. All they saw was a pink light drifting erratically in the air. They couldn't determine its position at all. Qin Feng was flying around on his flying sword. This starry sky flying sword was controlled by Qin Feng's mind. Even if he couldn't activate his true qi, he could still move the flying sword. Qin Feng didn't use the flying sword when he exterminated the Horseshoe Gang. The main reason was that there were too many bandits in the Horseshoe Gang. Qin Feng couldn't react in time when he had to fight more than 100 true qi realm experts. Now that he was facing 11 true qi level 1 bailiffs, he could barely use the flying sword to fight a guerrilla battle. Whoosh! The sword hummed continuously in the air, scaring the Yamen runners so much that their faces turned pale. They finally understood how their companion had died. It was obvious that he was killed in one move by the flying sword. They originally thought that Qin Feng was just an ordinary commoner. They didn't expect that he even had a pink flying sword. Zhang Jin and the others regretted their actions so much that their intestines turned green. However, there was no medicine for regret in this world for them to eat. Poochie! The sound of skin being cut spread out. Although it was very soft, it clearly reached everyone's ears. It was as if a muffled thunder had exploded in their hearts. Everyone immediately looked around and saw one of their companions fall from the back of his horse. As soon as he landed, his head rolled out. Blood gushed out. The Yamen runners were so scared that they didn't even know how to speak. They had all killed people before, but this was the first time they had seen someone kill someone like killing a chicken. This wasn't even killing a chicken. This was truly crushing an ant to death. Big brother Zhang W, what should we do? Run quickly. The group of Yamen runners had long been thrown into chaos. At this moment, they didn't even have the strength to run, let alone fight. As their voices fell, two crisp sounds rang out in the air. One of the escaping people flew from the back of his horse. The starry sky flying sword pierced through his chest, creating a huge bloody hole. The fear on the other man's face hadn't even subsided when he suddenly grabbed his neck. In the blink of an eye, blood spurted out and his head flew off. In less than 10 seconds, 4 experts at the first stage of True Qi fell to the ground, unable to get up. Zhang Jun and the remaining 6 people trembled in fear. The air was filled with the smell of death, as if they would be the next ones to be killed. Damn it, we're going to die anyway. Let's go with that bastard. One of the Yamen runners couldn't bear the terrifying atmosphere and suddenly shouted. Just as he was about to swing his blade in the direction of the flying sword, his figure leaped into the air and the long sword pierced through his heart. He fell straight back to the ground. The remaining people didn't dare to speak anymore. Some of them even jumped off their horses and knelt on the ground, begging for mercy. However, the pink light constantly flashed in the surroundings. Every time there was a sound of wind breaking, an expert fell. Swish, swish, swish! Qin Feng displayed his godly skill of killing experts in the blink of an eye. When only Zhang Jun was left on the ground, he stepped on the flying sword and appeared in the air. He was like a god of war descending from the heavens. Zhang Jun was no longer as ruthless as before. He was already kneeling on the ground and crazily kowtowing in Qin Feng's direction. Young Master Qiao, please spare this lowly one's life. This lowly one will never dare to offend you again. Whoosh! As soon as he finished speaking, the pink light flashed. Zhang Jun cried out in pain. One of his arms had been pierced by the flying sword. Qin Feng wasn't in a hurry to kill him. He kept him alive because he wanted to ask him some questions. Now I'll ask you a question. Answer me honestly. Qin Feng's voice was as cold as ice. Zhang Jun's head was like a chicken pecking at rice. Young Master Qiao, please ask. This lowly one will tell you everything I know. Do you know where the Holy Gate is? Qin Feng went straight to the point. Zhang Jun was shocked. He didn't expect Qin Feng to ask about the Holy Gate. From Qin Feng's mysterious method of killing people, he guessed that he was most likely a disciple of the Holy Gate. Zhang Jun felt that Qin Feng was probably injured, which was why he couldn't circulate the true qi in his body. However, these Holy Gate experts had many spiritual weapons and treasures. Dealing with a level 1 true qi ant like him was just a matter of a thought. After thinking about this, Zhang Jun started to regret. These were people from the Holy Gate. Offending them was simply courting death. Chapter 1356. Zhang Jun was a bit puzzled. He guessed that Qin Feng was a member of the Holy Gate, so why was young noble Qiao asking about the Holy Gate? Seeing that Zhang Jun and Hua Xiaojun had the same answer, Qin Feng was a bit disappointed. He continued to ask, when will the Holy Gate selection begin? Zhang Jun was even more puzzled, but he didn't dare to ask. According to the time limit of 3 years, there is still half a year left. However, the specific date will be decided by the Holy Gate. It will be announced 1 month in advance, and then the selection will be held at Fire Beacon City. Zhang Jun told Qin Feng everything he knew. He was afraid that Qin Feng would think that he was hiding something and kill him. Qin Feng learned from Hua Xiaozhen that there were 8 great cities in the Divine Continent, and Fire Beacon City was the 9th city that separated itself from the 8 great cities. This place was not under the control of any sacred sect and was a public land. Qin Feng didn't get any more information even after asking for a long time. His expression gradually turned cold. Zhang Jin seemed to have noticed the situation and hurriedly said, "Young Master Qiao, please don't kill me. Do you want to go to the sacred gate of Distant Eye City?" The Spirit Beast sect was at Distant Eye City. Qin Feng asked, "Do you have any other way to enter the Holy Gate?" "Originally I didn't, but now that Distant Eye City and Meteor City are at war, there is a way to contact the Holy Gate disciples." Qin Feng's eyes lit up, but he still said with a cold expression, "Speak." Zhang Jin trembled in fear and quickly said, "If young noble Qiao spare this lowly one's life, this lowly one can take you to the Yamen. Now that the 2 cities are at war, the Holy Gate disciples at Distant Eye City have come out to fight. They will contact the people from the Yamen to help them." Qin Feng became spirited. He didn't expect this kind of method. He already started to plan how to enter the Yamen and contact the Spirit Beast sect. As for Zhang Jin's offer to take him back, Qin Feng didn't even consider it. He could see through Zhang Jin's thoughts with a glance. If he followed Zhang Jin back to the Yamen, that brat would definitely gather experts to kill him. Swish! While Qin Feng was still in a daze, Zhang Jin suddenly jumped up with his saber and instantly appeared above Qin Feng's head. Zhang Jin's cowardly expression greatly changed as he fiercely glared at Qin Feng. The saber in his hand was already raised above his head. The moment it slashed down, he roared at Qin Feng. "Stinking brat, die! Poochie!" The sound of skin being cut rang out. However, it was not Zhang Jin who had split open Qin Feng's head. There was a flash of pink light, and Zhang Jin's body was suspended in midair. It was as if someone had cast a body-securing talisman on him. However, a pink flying sword pierced through his chest and supported him in midair. Rumble! With a thought from Qin Feng, the flying sword completely pierced through Zhang Jin. With a loud explosion, Zhang Jin turned into a flower of blood. It was no longer possible to see his complete appearance. At this point, Qin Feng had single-handedly annihilated Zhang Jin and the other 11 true Qi stage experts. He had also obtained some useful information. At this moment, he was in a good mood as he flew down the mountain. By the time he found Flaming Dragon Horse and Hua Xiaozhen, he had already flown over 100 miles on his flying sword. Flaming Dragon Horse was grazing on the side while Hua Xiaozhen was sitting on a rock. Her shoulders were loose and she was crying her heart out. "Little Jin, why are you crying? Who bullied you?" Qin Feng sheathed his sword and landed on the ground. Hua Xiaozhen was shocked. The moment she saw Qin Feng, her eyes sparkled as if she had found a new life. Hua Xiaozhen's eyes were swollen from crying. She had been crying since the moment she left on Flaming Dragon Horse. She still did not know how powerful Qin Feng was and thought that he had died at the hands of the bailiffs. She had already thought it through. If the bailiffs caught up and confirmed that young Master Qiao was killed, Hua Xiaozhen would smash her head against the stone wall and follow in young Master Qiao's footsteps. She said she would follow him until death, so she would fulfill her promise. "Woo woo! Young Master Qiao, is it really you?" Little Jin thought. Hua Xiaozhen did not continue speaking. Just saying those words made her feel incomparably terrified. Now that she was lying in Qin Feng's arms, feeling the warmth and familiar scent of a man, Hua Xiaozhen felt that everything had returned. Qin Feng was speechless by this silly girl. Before they left, he had told her not to worry. It seemed like he had said so much for nothing. "Little Jin, don't cry. I've killed those bad people. Let's go to the Yamen now." Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen onto Flaming Dragon Horse. Hua Xiaozhen was shocked. "Ah? Go to the Yamen? Young Master Qiao, let's run for our lives." Hua Xiaozhen could not understand Qin Feng's thoughts. Qin Feng had already killed the bailiffs. Wasn't going to the Yamen to die? Run for our lives? Let's go to the yamen to receive our reward, Qin Feng said with a smile. Hua Xiaojun felt that her brain was not enough to process everything. She looked at Qin Feng in a daze. Young Master Qiao, why you killed the bailiffs, and you still want to receive your reward? Qin Feng could not help but touch Hua Xiaojun's forehead. He said with a smile. Who said I killed the bailiffs? Those bailiffs were all killed by the bandits of the horseman gang. I helped the bailiffs destroy the horseman gang, so of course I have to receive my reward. Is Indulgent going to tell on me? Say that I killed the bailiffs? Hua Xiaojun suddenly understood Qin Feng's meaning. She was stunned by Qin Feng's boldness, and hurriedly shook her head. This lowly servant wouldn't dare. This lowly servant would never say that young Master Qiao killed anyone. This lowly servant. Qin Feng felt helpless when he saw Hua Xiaojun's frightened expression. He suddenly increased the speed of Flaming Dragon Horse and did not explain anything to this woman. Along the way, Hua Xiaojun pointed the way, and Qin Feng sped on the horse. When the sun set, the two of them arrived at West Town. There were tens of towns in distant Ice City, and each town had a few mountain villages. West Town was one of the larger towns. The streets were crowded with horses and carriages. It was much more prosperous than Hua Family Village. Wow! Young Master Qiao, look! There's Candide Hawes over there! Hua Xiaojun remembered that she came to West Town with her mother when she was 5 years old. Later, her mother died in the chaos of war, and Hua Xiaojun's hard life began. She became a servant girl for rich and noble families at the age of 6. Now, more than 10 years had passed. She never thought that she would come to West Town with a man. Hua Xiaojun was attracted by the prosperity of West Town, and her personality became bolder. She sat on Flaming Dragon Horse and chattered like a cheerful little bird. Qin Feng pulled Flaming Dragon Horse and stopped next to the old woman selling Candide Hawes. Old Granny, give me 2 sticks of Candide Hawes. The old woman saw that Qin Feng was wearing silk-embroidered clothes and was riding a large horse. She appeared to be a bit afraid of Qin Feng, so she immediately gave him 2 sticks of Candide Hawes. Young master, I'll give you the Candide Hawes for free. Young master, have a safe journey. The old woman didn't dare take the money, so Qin Feng threw her 2 silver coins. These silver coins were obtained from the bodies of the Horsehead Gang and the bailiffs. After all, the gold bars were too eye-catching, and Qin Feng didn't plan on easily taking them out in the future. The old woman and Hua Xiaojun were both shocked. Those 2 sticks of Candide Hawes were at most half a copper coin. This Qin Feng was simply too generous. Young master, you can't do this. This is too much money, even a lowly commoner wouldn't be able to change it. The old woman immediately returned the money to Qin Feng. Hua Xiaojun also said anxiously, Young Master Qiao, this lowly servant doesn't want the Candide Hawes. This lowly servant just said it casually. It's all this lowly servant's fault, lowly servant. Qin Feng realized that Hua Xiaojun was going to hit him again, so he immediately hugged her arm. He took the 2 sticks of Candide Hawes and immediately disappeared on his horse. He was already afraid of the people of China's closed mindset. Hua Xiaojun held a Candide Haw in one hand and felt like she was dreaming. She only remembered eating this thing when she was young. At that time, she was also her mother's little darling. However, when Hua Xiaojun remembered that these 2 sticks of Candide Hawes cost young Master Qiao 2 silver coins, she immediately became nervous. However, she also felt warm and sweet. This was the first time she met a master who bought things for this lowly servant. You lowly commoner, how dare you scare my horse? I think you're tired of living. Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun momentarily forgot about going to the bailiffs and strolled along the bustling streets of West Town. There was a commotion in front of them. Many people had gathered there, and it seemed like something had happened. Qin Feng rushed over on horseback. When the crowd saw his horse, they immediately gave way and looked at him with fear. Among the crowd stood a man and a woman. The man was dressed luxuriously and held a wooden folding fan in his hand. It was obvious that he was a disciple of a wealthy family. The woman, on the other hand, was dressed in coarse cotton clothes. Her hair was dull yellow due to the lack of nutrition. She was carrying a child who had not been weaned yet and was crying loudly. The rich man kept cursing and threatening the woman. The woman was so frightened that she trembled. The child in her arms cried even louder. The woman felt sorry for the child and patted the child's body. "Woman, are you deaf or mute? Don't think you'll be fine just because you're pretending to be deaf and mute. Hurry up and tell your child to shut up. It's his crying that scared my horse. If he dares to cry again, I'll throw him to his death." After watching for a while, Qin Feng finally understood. The woman's child's crying had scared the carriage at the side. Because of this, the rich man became overbearing. This scene made many people sigh inwardly and inwardly criticize the man for being narrow-minded. However, in this chaotic era of war, no one dared to voice their anger. Moreover, everyone knew the man's identity. He was the only son of the county magistrate of the West Town Yamen, Wei Changming. "Young Master Qiao, that man is so bad. The woman is so pitiful." Hua Xiaojun was kind-hearted and could not bear to watch any longer. However, she could only sigh. As a lowly servant, she did not dare to ask Qin Feng for help. The woman was so frightened that she actually knelt on the ground in front of everyone. She raised her head and begged, "Young Master Wei, it's all my son's fault. I apologize on behalf of my son. I hope that young Master Wei can be magnanimous and spare my son and me this time." The sighs in the crowd became even more obvious. Wei Changming spat on the woman and reprimanded her. "Tui! A lowly commoner like you dares to beg for mercy? Do you know how precious my horse is? This is a dark horse that I bought with 10 gold coins. Even if I kill you, I can't afford it." Chapter 1357. The young woman was scared to death, and the child in her arms cried even louder. Everyone felt a chill in their hearts, but Wei Changming didn't show any pity. Instead, he showed an arrogant expression. His gaze fell on the young woman's small face. This woman was delicate and pretty, and her skin was fair and tender. It made Wei Changming have some evil thoughts. "It's not impossible for me to spare you, but it depends on your performance." Wei Changming leisurely fanned himself while looking at the young woman with a playful expression. The woman quickly stopped kowtowing and said, "As long as young Master Wei can spare my son, this lowly commoner will do anything." Everyone was puzzled. This Wei Changming had always been a petty and calculative person. Why did he suddenly change today? However, they heard him say shamelessly, "Take off your shirt in front of everyone. I see that your child is crying so hard. He must be hungry. Quickly feed him something." The young woman was stunned and stared at Wei Changming in disbelief. She didn't expect him to say such vulgar words in front of everyone. The crowd started to complain. Even though they knew Wei Changming's identity, his actions completely angered everyone. "This person is too shameless. Who does he think he is? He bullies people in West Town just because he is the son of the district magistrate. How can such an evil person not be struck by lightning? Sigh. That girl is so pitiful. She won't be able to escape today." Wei Changming immediately pulled a long face when he heard those words. He stretched out his hand and slapped the man closest to him. "Damn it, what are you mumbling about? Do you want to die? If anyone dares to say anything else, I'll take him back to the yamen." This slap scared everyone. Everyone lowered their heads and didn't dare to look Wei Changming in the eyes. With his powerful identity, who would dare to resist? Seeing that the crowd had quietened down, Wei Changming stared at the young woman with a cold expression. "You are indeed a group of lowly commoners. This young master is kind enough to give you a chance to correct your mistake, but you're not happy? If that's the case, then let your child fall to death and compensate for the frightening matter of my horse." Wei Changming lost his patience and rushed forward to snatch the child from the young woman's arms. The young woman was so scared that tears flowed down her cheeks. She suddenly pulled open the belt on her waist and said, "Young Master Wei, I'll take it off now." The crowd could not bear to watch any longer. Many of the old men turned their heads away from the scene. Some even left angrily, cursing Wei Changming's 18 generations of ancestors in their hearts. That young woman cried as she took off her clothes, revealing her white and tender shoulders. Wei Changming stared blankly at her, unscrupulously standing in front of the young woman, unable to move his eyes away. However, just as he was watching, Wei Changming's expression changed drastically. He glared angrily at Qin Feng, who was tugging on the young woman's clothes, and yelled, "Stinking brat, do you want to die?" Qin Feng pretended not to see Wei Changming. He straightened the young woman's clothes, helped her up, and stood behind him. "Take the child and leave." The young woman was startled, but she didn't dare to move. This young master, thank you for your kindness, but you should leave, The young woman was very kind. She was afraid of implicating Qin Feng, so before she could finish speaking, Hua Xiaozhen had already grabbed her arm and pulled her out. Wei Changming was so angry that his neck was red. He yelled at the young woman, "If you dare to leave today, I'll make it so that you won't be able to live in West Town anymore." The young woman was so scared that she trembled. Hua Xiaozhen forcefully pulled her, but she didn't dare to leave. Wei Changming's eyes suddenly lit up, and his gaze fell on Hua Xiaozhen. He had played with all the beauties in West Town, but he had never seen someone as lovely and moving as Hua Xiaozhen. You, get over here!" Wei Changming tossed Qin Feng to the side. After his gaze fell on Hua Xiaozhen, he couldn't move his eyes away. The crowd shook their heads and sighed. They knew that Hua Xiaozhen and Qin Feng were out of luck. Both of them were kind, but how could they defeat Wei Changming? Hua Xiaozhen didn't recognize Wei Changming, but she was a bit afraid. She pulled the young woman and hid behind Qin Feng. What do you want? It's not easy for this big sister to raise a child, so why do you have to make things difficult for her? Hua Xiaozhen looked like a silly child, and the crowd shook their heads again. Everyone felt that Hua Xiaozhen was too young, so she didn't know the evils of society. Wei Changming didn't need a reason to bully people. He didn't care if you were pitiful or not, and he would bully you whenever he wanted to. Wei Changming sneered and yelled at Hua Xiaozhen, "You lowly commoner, you really don't know the immensity of heaven and earth. Do you know who this young master is? I'm the only son of the county magistrate." These words made Hua Xiaozhen dumbstruck. Even Qin Feng was slightly startled. He was just about to go to the yamen to find the county magistrate, but he didn't expect to run into the county magistrate's son first. Hua Xiaozhen realized that she had caused big trouble, and she felt a wave of regret. She had implicated young Master Qiao again. Young Master Wei, please forgive us. We didn't mean to offend you." Hua Xiaozhen was so anxious that tears welled up in her eyes. She wanted to slap herself for always causing trouble for young Master Qiao. Wei Changming saw that Hua Xiaozhen was afraid and laughed loudly. "Ha ha! You want me to forgive you? Sure, do the same thing as that woman. Take off all your clothes." Hua Xiaozhen was so angry that her little face turned red. She was now Qin Feng's servant, and she had always treated her body as Qin Feng's. Now that she was being humiliated, she felt like she was humiliating young Master Qiao. Hua Xiaozhen wanted to say something, but Qin Feng stood up and said, "Young Master Wei, right? You're acting like a tyrant just because you're the county magistrate's son. Is there any law breaking in West Town?" Wei Changming had forgotten about Qin Feng, so he didn't expect him to suddenly jump out. With a cold expression, he yelled, "Stinking brat, you dare to meddle in my business? How am I acting like a tyrant? It was clearly that lowly commoner's child who scared my horse. It's only right for me to want her to apologize." Wei Changming was unreasonable. However, just as he finished speaking, the flaming dragon horse suddenly neighed as if it had gone mad. It even leaped around, scaring the crowd. Even Wei Changming was frightened, and he moved a few meters away from Qin Feng. Qin Feng said as if nothing had happened, "You saw it. Because of your roar just now, it scared my Fergana horse. Tell me, how are you going to compensate me?" Wei Changming was suddenly stunned. It had always been him looking for trouble. Who would have thought that someone would look for trouble with him today? "Fuck your grandpa." What does your horse's insanity have to do with me? I suspect that this horse has a plague. I'm going to kill it right now. Wei Changming was so angry that he went to find a knife. Qin Feng laughed coldly. My horse neighed because it went mad. Your horse neighed because it was scared by someone. According to what you said, you should kill your horse first. I suspect that it also has a horse plague. Qin Feng's words stunned Wei Changming on the spot, and he couldn't even retort. The crowd cried out in surprise. They were all shocked by Qin Feng's glib tongue. This person actually dared to reason with Wei Changming? In the end, he even made Wei Changming dumbfounded. The young woman was dumbfounded, and Hua Xiuzhen looked at Qin Feng with stars in her eyes. Her reliance and admiration for young Master Qiao deepened day by day, and she was unable to free herself. You wicked commoner, are you purposely looking for trouble with me? Do you believe that I won't call the bailiffs to come and arrest you right now? Wei Changming couldn't argue with Qin Feng, so he used his identity to scare him. Unexpectedly, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear him. I'll already run when the bailiffs come. How about I go to the yamen with you? Everyone was shocked. They couldn't understand what Qin Feng was thinking. Even Wei Changming was stunned. Why you want to go to the yamen with me? What? Are you afraid of me? Qin Feng smiled calmly. Wei Changming was instantly delighted. If Qin Feng dared to go to the yamen with him, he had 100 ways to play Qin Feng to death. He even suspected that this person was crazy. Benefactor, don't go. The young woman hurriedly ran over. She was slightly afraid of Wei Changming, but she still reminded Qin Feng. Hua Xiuzhen was also worried. She knew that young Master Qiao came to West Town to go to the yamen, but now that he had offended the son of the county magistrate, wouldn't he be seeking death by going to the yamen? Young Master Qiao, why you? Hua Xiuzhen also wanted to persuade Qin Feng, but the words didn't come out. She thought that she was only young Master Qiao's lowly servant. How could she always persuade young Master Qiao? What if she annoyed young Master Qiao and he didn't want her anymore? Qin Feng understood what Hua Xiuzhen meant. He gave her a reassuring look, then looked at Wei Changming and said, Are you going or not? If you're not going to the yamen, I'll be leaving first. Wei Changming was speechless at Qin Feng. It was the first time he had seen someone like Qin Feng who was so eager to die. The three of them left together. Qin Feng carried Hua Xiuzhen and rode on the fiery dragon horse, while Wei Changming rode on the big black horse. Because of Qin Feng's interference, Wei Changming forgot about the young woman. The young woman carried the crying child and watched Qin Feng and Hua Xiuzhen gradually disappear into the distance. Tears streamed down her face, and she knelt on the ground and kowtowed 3 times in the direction that the two of them left. The surrounding crowd shook their heads and sighed. They were also infected by Qin Feng and Hua Xiuzhen's kindness and courage. However, everyone thought that the two of them were going to die, and they felt extremely sorry for them. If Qin Feng knew what those people were thinking, he would definitely be depressed to death. He was bringing Hua Xiuzhen to the yamen to receive the reward, so why were they sad? Moreover, Qin Feng and Hua Xiuzhen didn't know where the yamen was. Now that they had a little brother to guide them, it saved Qin Feng a lot of trouble. West Town was neither big nor small. After going around half the town, they arrived in front of the yamen. Young Master Qiao, we. Hua Xiuzhen looked at the majestic yamen and began to feel nervous again. Qin Feng patted her back and said, Don't worry. What's there to be afraid of with me by your side? However, Qin Feng's words made Hua Xiuzhen's nervous heart suddenly calm down. She stole a glance at Qin Feng's resolute side profile with infatuation. Yes, to be able to stay with young Master Qiao at all times, regardless of life or death, what was there to be afraid of? Wang Long, Li Hu, where did your 2 grandsons go? Someone bullied this young master. Come out and cripple him. Wei Changming was silent along the way because he felt that he couldn't beat Qin Feng. As soon as he arrived at the yamen, he immediately roared at the courtyard. Chapter 1358. This shout frightened Hua Xiuzhen. 2 black shadows leaped out of the yamen. They were clad in iron armor and wielded large sabers. They stood beside Wei Changming like two door gods. Where did this thief come from? He even dares to provoke young Master Wei. Young Master Wei, did that unruly commoner hurt you? The two bailiffs called Wan Long and Li Hu were tall and sturdy. Just by standing there, Hua Xiaojun was scared to the point of trembling. Qin Feng had already retracted his gaze. These two people were both at the first stage of true qi, so he did not put them in his eyes. Humph! Stinking brat, you dare to meddle in this young master's business. Now you know fear? Hurry up and kneel and beg for mercy. Maybe this young master will let you go if I'm happy. After returning to the yamen, Wei Changming was extremely arrogant. He arrogantly reprimanded Qin Feng. Qin Feng smiled coldly and said, I think you're crazy. Do you have the life to take responsibility for making me kowtow to you? Wei Changming suddenly froze. He did not think that Qin Feng would be so arrogant at the entrance of the yamen. Wan Long and Li Hu already had their blades in hand. How could they have the patience to talk nonsense with Qin Feng? The air was filled with wind from the blades. The destructive power of the experts at the first level of true qi could not be underestimated. Hua Xiaojun screamed in fear. Wei Changming had a playful expression on his face. It was as if he could already see Qin Feng dying under the blades. Whoosh! A faint sword hum sounded, but it was covered by the violent wind from the blades. Qin Feng stood in place without moving. When Wan Long and Li Hu were less than half a meter away from him, a pink light flashed. Because it was too fast, it did not attract anyone's attention. Just as the blades were about to fall, their faces suddenly revealed a painful expression. It was as if something had cut their legs. They immediately knelt in front of Qin Feng and Hua Xiaojun. The atmosphere immediately became strange. Wan Long and Li Hu looked at their calves dumbfoundedly. The iron armor was cut through, and the flesh was split open. If they cut deeper, their tendons would have been severed. The smile on Wei Changming's face suddenly froze. He looked at the two bailiffs in disbelief. Even now, he still did not understand the situation. He roared angrily. You two idiots, who told you to kneel? You're simply embarrassing me. Get up! Seeing that young Master Wei was enraged, Wan Long and Li Hu were so scared that they trembled. They didn't even care about the pain in their legs. They climbed up and jumped back to Wei Changming's side. One of them said, Young Master Wei, this kid is a bit strange. Wei Changming slapped Wan Long too and roared. Evil my ass! You can't even subdue an unruly commoner. Did my dad raise you bunch of good-for-nothings for nothing? Wan Long was so depressed that he was about to cry. Li Hu said carefully, Young Master Wei, that guy is really strange. Look at my leg. It was cut for no reason. It was almost crippled. Only then did Wei Changming realize Li Hu's leg injury. The bloody wound was truly terrifying. He looked at Li Hu suspiciously and said, Brat, don't tell me you cut it yourself? Wei Changming wasn't an idiot. The reason he said these seemingly idiotic words was because the speed of the flying sword was too fast. He didn't even see it clearly. He didn't even see Qin Feng make a move, so how could Li Hu be injured? Li Hu was also extremely depressed. Wan Long hurriedly extended his leg and said, Young Master Wei, we're not lying. My leg was also cut by someone. Wei Changming's expression changed drastically. He already realized that something was wrong. Wan Long and Li Hu couldn't possibly injure themselves, right? However, nothing happened just now. He really couldn't figure out how Qin Feng had done it. The atmosphere was at a stalemate. Wan Long and Li Hu didn't dare to act recklessly. There was a hint of fear in the depths of Wei Changming's eyes. At this moment, another person walked out of the yamen. When Wei Changming saw him, it was as if he had seen his savior. He immediately went forward to welcome him. Father! You came just in time. There's an unruly commoner bullying me. Father, you have to stand up for me. The person who came was in his early 50s. He wore a black official's robe and a black gauze hat. His expression froze as he looked at Qin Feng. He probably didn't expect that someone in West Town would dare to offend his son. Who are you? How dare you behave atrociously in West Town? Wei Jingxing glared coldly at Qin Feng. Hua Xiuzhen had long been scared to death. This was the first time she had seen the district magistrate of West Town. As a lowly commoner, she had to kneel in front of the district magistrate. If Qin Feng hadn't been supporting Hua Xiaozhen's slender waist, she would have really knelt. Are you the district magistrate of this yamen? Qin Feng looked at Wei Jingxing calmly. In the eyes of the poor people of West Town, this person was unreachable, but in Qin Feng's eyes, he wasn't even worth mentioning. Speaking of which, the position of district magistrate was equivalent to that of a county magistrate in the outside world. Qin Feng was now the number one person in China, and even the 12 Peaks had to greet him when they saw him. How could a mere district magistrate enter Qin Feng's eyes? Everyone was suddenly stunned. They were all stunned by Qin Feng's calmness. Wei Jingxing furrowed his eyebrows. He had been in West Town for 5 years, but this was the first time he had seen such an arrogant person like Qin Feng. How dare you, Diao Ming? This district magistrate is asking you a question. What right do you have to ask me a question? Wei Jingxing angrily blew his beard and glared at Qin Feng. Suddenly, 8 guards rushed out of the courtyard and surrounded Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen like tigers watching their prey. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she cried. She knew that she and young Master Qiao wouldn't be able to escape death today. However, Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see the guards with swords drawn. He looked at Wei Jingxing and said, I am a hero of a generation. I was passing by here and saw your yamen's bailiffs surrounding bandits, so I lent a hand. I've come to receive my reward. It was as if Qin Feng was narrating a story to himself. Everyone who heard him felt dizzy and disoriented. Wei Jingxing's expression became even colder. He didn't understand what Qin Feng was saying. You unruly commoner, you're probably stupid. Why are you babbling nonsense here? Capture him and behead him tomorrow at noon. Wei Jingxing gave the order, and the group of guards was about to act. Hua Xiuzhen cried out in fear. Qin Feng quickly said, West Town's district magistrate is so mighty. I helped the yamen exterminate the bandits, but you want to behead me? If this gets out, I'm afraid you won't be able to keep your job. The guards jumped in fright. This brat was really crazy. He even dared to say such arrogant nonsense. Wei Jingxing's expression changed greatly. He suddenly yelled, Stop! The guards' swords were about to fall on Qin Feng's head, but they suddenly stopped and hung in the air. They glared at Qin Feng with provocative eyes as if to say, You're lucky, brat. Qin Feng thought it was funny, but he ignored these ants. If Wei Jingxing yelled a second later, the group of guards would have been beheaded. Just who are you, and why have you come to the yamen? Wei Jingxing saw that Qin Feng was wearing silk-embroidered clothes and had a handsome and tall horse behind him. He guessed that Qin Feng was also from a rich family. Although Wei Jingxing was the district magistrate of West Town, he didn't dare to offend a truly large family. If Qin Feng's identity was powerful, he would have to be careful. How could Qin Feng not see through this person's thoughts? He smiled and said, I've already said it clearly. I'm a hero of a generation. A few days ago, I passed by the Hua family village and helped your yamen exterminate the bandits of the horseman gang. Now I'm here to receive my reward. Wei Jingxing froze for a moment. He thought Qin Feng was joking, but now it seemed like it really was true. You really exterminated the horseman gang? There were so many bandits, you couldn't have exterminated them by yourself. It was indeed difficult for me to do it by myself. Didn't your yamen constables bring people to encircle and annihilate them? Qin Feng said indifferently. Wei Jingxing and the guards were stunned. The horseman gang did all sorts of evil in the West Town area, which gave Wei Jingxing a headache. However, the bandits were numerous, and they were all fugitives who weren't afraid of death. Wei Jingxing had sent constables to encircle and annihilate the horseman gang many times, but they had never been able to take down the mountain. Now, Qin Feng suddenly came and said that the horseman gang had been exterminated. It was really hard to accept. I haven't sent constables to encircle and annihilate the bandits recently. You're obviously lying. Wei Jingxing's old face turned cold, and the group of guards looked like they were about to strike again. Qin Feng said disapprovingly, "Didn't you send constables? But I know a constable named Zhang Jun. He told me he was from the West Town Yamen, so I came here to receive my reward." Wei Jingxing's eyes lit up, and he asked anxiously, "Where are Zhang Jun and the others?" "Zhang Jun and 11 constables died in the battle to encircle and annihilate the horseman gang. I survived because of my superb skills and annihilated the entire mountain of the horseman gang." Qin Feng had already thought of a set of excuses before he came. It just so happened that he had many superficial wounds on his body, so he said that he got them in a fierce battle with the bandits. Everyone stared at each other, not knowing whether Qin Feng was telling the truth or not. If it was true, then wouldn't Zhang Jin and the others all be dead? The 8 guards surrounding Qin Feng had a trace of vigilance in their eyes. Qin Feng was actually able to escape unscathed in the battle to encircle and annihilate the bandits. Obviously, he was a powerful expert. Wang Long and Li Hu were even more certain that their calves were cut by Qin Feng. "What are you still standing there for? Hurry up and invite us in. I'm a great hero." Qin Feng impatiently glared at Wei Jingxing. He was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. However, after a moment of silence, Wei Jingxing didn't order the guards to act again. He really did bring Qin Feng into the yamen. The interior of the mansion was even more luxurious than it looked from the outside. There were gardens, small courtyards, and countless other courtyards in the surroundings. It gave off the feeling of a Suzhou garden. However, Wei Jingxing didn't say anything else to Qin Feng. He took him and Hua Xiaojun to a guest room and left first. "Father, why did you treat that stinking brat like a guest? He bullied me." Wei Changming followed his father to the main mansion. He felt extremely sullen on the way here. Wei Jingxing's expression was ice cold. He paced around the room with his hands behind his back. Suddenly, he yelled at Wang Long and Li Hu, who were outside the door. "You two, go and take a look at the horseman gang's mountain. Go and come back quickly." Wang Long and Li Hu received the order and immediately went down. Wei Changming was full of confusion. "Father, you really believe that brat's nonsense? The horseman gang has over 100 bandits, and they're all true Qi realm martial artists. Even if that brat has some ability, it's impossible for him to wipe out the horseman gang alone." Chapter 1359. Wei Jingxing felt that something was wrong. If that Qiao guy could call out Zhang Jin's name, then he must have seen Zhang Jin. Now that Zhang Jin and the others were nowhere to be seen, Wei Jingxing started to believe Qin Feng's words. He was annoyed by Wei Changming's incessant questions. He suddenly roared, "Shut up! You said that Qiao guy was lying, so why did he lie? Was he looking for death? Then where did Zhang Jin and the others go? When are you going to use your brain?" Wei Changming didn't dare to make another sound. Although Zhang Jin and the others were nowhere to be seen, he still didn't believe Qin Feng's nonsense. That was the horseman gang. How could they be wiped out so easily? Wei Jingxing walked faster and faster, and his thoughts became more and more chaotic. He had already thrown Qin Feng's matter to the back of his mind. There was an even more troublesome problem that had tormented him for several days. After a while, Wei Changming couldn't help but complain. "Father, isn't it just that Qiao guy? You don't have to be so worried, right?" Wei Jingxing glared at him angrily and said, "What do you know? That Qiao guy is nothing." Wei Changming was stunned. "Father, then what are you worried about?" Wei Jingxing had spoiled his son too much and allowed him to stir up trouble outside. He almost never told his son about the important matters of the family. But now that he was facing a matter of life and death, Wei Jingxing couldn't let Wei Changming do as he pleased. "Stinking brat, let me tell you something serious. Now that the war between Distant Ice City and Meteor City is imminent, the experts of the Sacred Gate have already been dispatched. I'm afraid that they will come to our yamen in a few days. At that time, they will definitely ask me to lead the young men of the village and town to war. If I die in the chaos of war, you'll have nothing to eat. Wei Jingxing's words scared Wei Changming silly. He didn't have to worry about food or clothing since he was young and was used to the life of a young master. He didn't even know how to cook or wash clothes. If his father really died, what would he do? Father, don't scare me. You can't go to war. You can just stay in West Town. Wei Changming was naive. Wei Jingxing angrily shouted. Who do you think I am? You don't have to go if you don't want to go. The Sacred Gates experts are so powerful that even the distant Ice City's castellan has to listen to their orders. I'm just a county magistrate. You better prepare yourself. If the Sacred Gates people really come, I'll give you a huge sum of money. You should run for your life by yourself. This was the case in the Divine Great Land. Two cities often fought with each other. Once they fought, people had no way to make a living. Even high-ranking officials like the county magistrate, or even the prefectural magistrate would be ordered to lead troops into battle. Wei Changming's body went soft as he sat on the chair in a daze. This news came too suddenly, and he was completely unprepared. The atmosphere fell into a cold silence. Wei Jingxing sighed continuously and became more and more agitated. Wei Changming, on the other hand, was racking his brains to think of a solution. He did not want his father to go to war. If that happened, his life as a young master would be completely over. Father, I thought of a good idea. Wei Changming suddenly jumped up. This sudden action gave Wei Jingxing a fright. When he regained his senses, Wei Jingxing glared at his son with a cold expression. He didn't believe that this kid had any ideas. The Sacred Gate wants the officials to go to war. If father isn't the county magistrate, won't you be able to escape this calamity? Wei Changming continued. Wei Jingxing's expression changed. He didn't think about this, but he quickly rejected his son's idea. If he resigned now, even if he could keep his life, he would become a lowly commoner in the future. That would be a fate worse than death. He might as well do it now. If I don't want to be the county magistrate, you can go beg on the streets. Even a vicious tiger wouldn't eat its cubs. Although Wei Jingxing was a wily old fox, he only had one son, Wei Changming. He would rather go to war himself than let his son live a poor life. Wei Changming thought about it and agreed. He would rather his father die in battle than to let him live on the streets. However, Wei Changming didn't dare to say this out loud. Otherwise, he would definitely be beaten to death by his father. Father, I have another idea. Since I can't resign, I can just find an impostor to replace me. When the experts from the Sacred Gate bring the impostor to war, you will still be the county magistrate, and I will still be the son of the county magistrate. One couldn't help but say that Wei Changming had too many ideas when it came to survival. Wei Jingxing's eyes lit up. This idea isn't bad. However, now that 20% of the county is in chaos, who would dare to be the county magistrate? Wouldn't that be courting death? Wei Changming's eyes spun and he immediately said, I got it. Let's find that person with the surname Qiao. Isn't he here to receive rewards? It's obvious that he is someone who covets money and power. Father can say that he made a great contribution and let him be the county magistrate for a few days. If his performance is good, we can give him a job as a constable in the yamen. Wei Jingxing's expression changed. He had always looked down on this son of his, but he didn't expect his son to come up with such a brilliant plan at such a crucial moment. After careful consideration, Wei Jingxing also felt that this idea wasn't bad and he made up his mind. The guest room that Qin Feng and Hua Shuzhen stayed in was not bad. There was a double wooden bed, a dressing table, and a wooden tub for bathing. Hua Shuzhen sat by the bed and felt like she was dreaming. Young Master Qiao offended the county magistrate's son, injured a bailiff, and even talked back to the county magistrate. In the end, he was hosted by the county magistrate. This was simply unimaginable. Young Master Qiao, I have a feeling that the county magistrate and the others are up to no good. Why don't we escape in the middle of the night? Hua Xiaozhen's expression was filled with worry. She wasn't afraid of being bullied, but she was worried that young Master Qiao would suffer. Of course, Qin Feng knew that Wei Jingxing and the others were up to no good. However, he came to the Yamen to find out the whereabouts of the Spirit Beast sect. According to Zhang Jun, the Sacred Gate would send people to the Yamen to summon them to battle. Qin Feng planned to stay here for the next few days. Xiaozhen, don't worry. If those people dare to do anything bad, I won't forgive them. Qin Feng spoke as if he was talking about a trivial matter. After staying with him for so many days, Hua Xiaozhen had already sensed that Qin Feng was abnormal. He looked like a poor commoner, but he had killed many martial artists. Hua Xiaozhen couldn't persuade him anymore. She hurriedly ran to turn on the water for Qin Feng. She tested the water temperature with her hand and helped Qin Feng change his clothes and bathe. These days, Qin Feng was already used to being served by Hua Xiaozhen. Especially when he bathed every night, he didn't need to do anything. Hua Xiaozhen took care of everything for him. Qin Feng lay naked in the wooden basin. He didn't care that Hua Xiaozhen had seen everything. Hua Xiaozhen carefully helped him bathe and asked, "Young Master Qiao, this lowly servant has some questions. Ask away, no need to be polite with me," Qin Feng said. Hua Xiaozhen finally gathered her courage and said with a voice as soft as a mosquito, "Young Master Qiao, where are you from? What does your family do? You seem very powerful. Are you a martial artist?" Hua Xiaozhen immediately regretted her words. She was just a lowly servant. How could she ask about her master? Before Qin Feng could speak, he heard a burst of crying behind him. He immediately became depressed. "Xiaozhen, what's wrong?" However, he heard the crisp sound of a slap. Hua Xiaozhen cried, "This lowly servant deserves to die. This lowly servant shouldn't have asked about my master. Please punish this lowly servant, young Master Qiao." Hua Xiaozhen slapped herself twice in a row. She had no intention of stopping. Qin Feng jumped in fright. He hurriedly turned and carried her into the bathtub. Only then did he realize that Hua Xiaozhen's clothes were wet from the warm water. Qin Feng didn't care too much. He grabbed the girl's hand and looked at the red fingerprints on her fair and clean face. His heart ached. "Xiaozhen, did you forget what I told you before? You're not allowed to hit yourself in the future." Qin Feng was a bit angry. Hua Xiaozhen trembled in his arms and cried even harder. She found that she always made young Master Qiao unhappy. At this moment, she wanted to bang her head against the wall and die. Seeing that she was frightened, the anger in Qin Feng's heart dissipated. He hugged Hua Xiaozhen even tighter and touched her face. "Do you really want to know about my past? I'm afraid it'll scare you." Hua Xiaozhen shook her head and then nodded. She was really curious about Qin Feng's identity, but she didn't dare to ask again. Qin Feng saw that Hua Xiaozhen's clothes were wet and stuck to her body. He was afraid that she would catch a cold. "Go change into some clean clothes first, then I'll tell you." Only then did Hua Xiaozhen realize that her clothes were wet. Moreover, some parts of her chest were exposed. Her little face flushed red, but she didn't leave. Instead, she took off her clothes in front of Qin Feng. "Xiaozhen." Qin Feng jumped in fright. His gaze was fixed on her. So Xiaozhen's figure was this good. Hua Xiaozhen lowered her head and said in a small voice, "Young Master Qiao, I heard that many young masters like to bathe together. Can this lowly servant accompany young master?" Hua Xiaozhen couldn't continue. She was so embarrassed that her body was about to burn. Qin Feng hurriedly calmed himself down, but he didn't let Hua Xiaozhen leave. He let her continue to help him bathe. Qin Feng told her about his situation. He was unfamiliar with the people and land of China, so he really wanted to find someone to talk to. He believed in Hua Xiaozhen's loyalty, so he didn't need to hide anything from a woman. After Hua Xiaozhen listened to Qin Feng's story, she was dumbstruck. She covered her small mouth with both hands to prevent herself from screaming. Her eyes were about to fall into the bathtub. After a long time, she opened her mouth and said, "Young Master Qiao, why you're not from here?" Qin Feng nodded. He knew this was too shocking. Hua Xiaozhen needed a lot of time to slowly digest it. Hua Xiaozhen was really stunned, and she was very scared. So young Master Qiao was from the outside world. He came to China to take revenge and take away a few friends. When the time came, young Master Qiao would have to go back. Hua Xiaozhen thought about it, and tears flowed down her face. She didn't know what she should do in the future. Xiaozhen, what's wrong? Qin Feng looked at Hua Xiaozhen, baffled. He thought that this woman couldn't be crying, could she? Hua Xiaozhen bit her lips and didn't speak. She didn't want to say what was on her mind. Chapter 1360. Early in the morning, Wei Jingxing brought a group of people to Qin Feng's room. Hua Xiaozhen had just finished washing up and immediately ran to Qin Feng when she saw the people. Young Master Qiao. Qin Feng patted Hua Xiaozhen's shoulder to calm her down. He looked at Wei Jingxing indifferently and said, Magistrate Wei, you came to find me early in the morning. Are you going to reward me? Qin Feng's words made everyone speechless. You beat up a bailiff, bullied young Master Wei, and talked back to the magistrate yesterday. You still want a reward? Is there something wrong with this brat's head? Hua Xiaozhen was very nervous. She thought these people were looking for trouble. The bailiffs didn't know Wei Jingxing and Wei Changning's plan and looked at Qin Feng with playful expressions. But in the next moment, everyone's smiles froze. They even suspected that there was something wrong with their ears. Ha ha! Young Master Qiao guessed correctly. This magistrate is here to reward you. I hope I didn't disturb your rest. Wei Jingxing smiled amiably. Even Qin Feng was a bit suspicious. Hua Xiaozhen was dumbfounded. Her mouth opened and closed, but she couldn't say anything. Wang Long and Li Hu's eyes fell to the ground. After a while, Wang Long came to his senses and said, Magistrate, why you want to reward that bastard? Wei Jingxing glared at Wang Long coldly and scolded. You lowly servant, how dare you question this magistrate's intentions? Do you want to teach me how to do things? Wang Long was so scared that he almost knelt down. He wondered if Magistrate Wei took the wrong medicine today. Li Hu and the other guards were also at a loss. But after seeing Wang Long's fate, they didn't dare to say anything. Everyone lowered their heads and stood to the side. Wei Jingxing once again piled a kind smile on his face and walked to Qin Feng's side. Ha ha! Young Master Qiao, it's my fault for not disciplining my subordinates. Please don't take it to heart. Qin Feng had long seen that something was wrong with Wei Jingxing today, but he couldn't guess what he was thinking. Qin Feng didn't expose him and pretended to be stupid. Magistrate Wei, you don't have to be so polite. I'm here to receive my reward. The Horseshoe Gang is considered a large gang, and I fought to the death to completely annihilate them. I wonder how much merit I'll get this time? When the bailiffs saw Qin Feng's eagerness to take credit and receive rewards, their expressions turned icy. Even if he wanted to receive rewards, it wouldn't be his turn. However, Wei Jingxing and Wei Changming's eyes flashed with a hint of a smile. When they saw how anxious Qin Feng was, they were even more confident in the plan they had discussed last night. Hee hee! Young Master Qiao has made a great contribution this time. You must know that the Horseman Gang has committed all kinds of crimes and has been active in this West town for 3 to 4 years. During this period, how many poor people have been killed and how many virgin girls have been harmed. Wei Jingxing's wild boasting completely confused Wang Long and the others. What medicine was this county magistrate selling in his gourd? Hua Xiaozhen was already nervous. The closer Wei Jingxing acted to Qin Feng, the more worried she was. Even she could see that Wei Jingxing was hiding something. Oh? If that's the case, I'm going to have a meteoric rise this time? How does County Magistrate Wei want to reward me? Qin Feng cooperated with Wei Jingxing and yelled excitedly. Wei Jingxing's smile became even wider. Young Master Qiao, how about this? I have some business to attend to in the next few days, so why don't you be the county magistrate for a few days? If you perform well, I'll give you the position of constable. What do you think? After Wei Jingxing finished speaking, he looked nervously at Qin Feng. Wei Changming's palms were covered in cold sweat. The fate of the father and son depended on Qin Feng's decision. Hua Xiaozhen, Wang Long, and the others were so scared that they almost fell. County Magistrate Wei, you, young Master Wei, hurry and persuade the county magistrate. If that Xiao guy becomes the county magistrate, will our days be good? Wang Long and Li Hu couldn't take it anymore and immediately jumped out to dissuade him. Wei Jing blew his beard and glared at them. Wei Changming lifted his foot and kicked the two of them. You two dogs, when did you have the right to interrupt when my father is speaking? If you dare to speak out of turn, believe it or not, I'll drag you out and behead you. Wei Changming was suddenly enraged. He was someone who couldn't wait for Qin Feng to die. It had only been one night, but Wei Jingxing and Wei Changming seemed to have become completely different people. Their attitudes towards Qin Feng had changed by 180 degrees. Wan Long and Li Hu didn't care about the pain in their bodies. They were so scared that cold sweat broke out on their backs. Hua Xiaozhen anxiously tugged at the corner of Qin Feng's clothes and looked at him nervously. Qi young Master Qiao, this lowly servant thinks that you shouldn't be the county magistrate. Hua Xiaozhen also didn't understand Wei Jingxing's intention. But she knew that this person definitely didn't have good intentions. Qin Feng had seen through this long ago, but he pretended to be stupid and said, You lowly servant, don't you want this young master to have a good life? It's rare that County Magistrate Wei thinks highly of me and even gave up the position of County Magistrate. How can I refuse? Qin Feng immediately agreed. He came to the Yamen to see the Holy Gate disciples. If he became the County Magistrate, the Holy Gate disciples would definitely look for him when they came to West Town. Ha. Good, I didn't choose the wrong person. County Magistrate Qiao, you have to manage West Town well these few days. Just don't cause any big trouble. Wei Jingxing's face was full of surprise. It was as if he was afraid that Qin Feng would suddenly change his mind, so he impatiently decided on this matter. Everyone was completely dumbfounded. Too many things had happened in these 10 minutes. The highest official position in West Town had actually changed hands. Wasn't this a little too childish? Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others couldn't accept this. They had all offended Qin Feng. Now that Qin Feng had become the county magistrate, wouldn't he play them to death? However, the matter had already been decided, so no one dared to say another word. Hua Shizhen was so scared that she was trembling. Just now, Qin Feng had scolded her for the sake of acting, and she was so scared that she cried. After Wei Jingxing finished giving his instructions, he hurriedly ran away. He said that he had more important matters to attend to out of town, but in reality, he was looking for a place to lie low. To prevent Qin Feng from becoming suspicious, Wei Changming stayed at the Yamen. Now that Qin Feng had become the highest official in West Town, he found it funny when he saw the group of bailiffs standing in a daze in the room. The two of you, go get 2 sets of clean clothes. Qin Feng ordered Wang Long and Li Hu. Qin Feng ordered Wang Long and Li Hu. He and Hua Xiaozhen only had 1 set of clothes, so they needed a change of clothes. The two of them had come early in the morning with the intention of suppressing Qin Feng, but now they were being ordered around by Qin Feng's servant. They were so angry that their faces were livid. They stood there as if they hadn't heard anything. Qin Feng didn't care about their reactions. He looked at Wei Changming indifferently and said, Son, are these 2 dogs deaf? Why are we keeping 2 good-for-nothings for nothing? Drag them away and behead them. Qin Feng's words stunned everyone. Wei Changming suddenly snapped out of his daze. He was so angry that his nose was crooked. Qiao, who the fuck are you calling son? Do you believe that I won't kill you right now? Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others had long been sullen. Seeing that young Master Wei had finally returned to normal, everyone immediately drew their sabers and surrounded Qin Feng. They looked like they were going to hack him to death at any moment. Hua Xiaozhen was so frightened that she couldn't stop wiping her tears. She felt that she and young Master Qiao were really going to die today. Qin Feng sneered and said, Oh, my son, are you going to rebel? I'm now the district magistrate, and you are the son of the district magistrate. Aren't you my son? You want to kill me? Then do it. Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others didn't know and were really about to swing their sabers. Wei Changming suddenly came to his senses. If Qin Feng was killed, his father would go on an expedition. His days as a young master would come to an end. Slap, slap, slap. A few slaps suddenly sounded. Wang Long and Li Hu's eyes widened as they looked at Wei Changming in disbelief. Young Master Wei? Why did you hit me? Wei Changming vented all the anger in his stomach on the bailiffs and slapped them one by one. You bunch of vile creatures, hurry up and put away your sabers. You want to attack the district magistrate? I think you're tired of living. Wei Changming was like a lunatic in everyone's eyes. One moment he wanted to kill Qin Feng, the next he didn't let them kill him. Wan Long, Li Hu, and the others were full of grievance. They were beaten up for no reason early in the morning. It was simply unreasonable. Hua Xiaozhen was even more dumbfounded. She guessed that Wei Jingxing and his son didn't have good intentions, but she couldn't figure out what these two wanted. Qin Feng also couldn't figure it out, but he was too lazy to think about it. There were only a dozen or so bailiffs at the first level of Tru Qi left as a defense force. If they really provoked Qin Feng could kill them with a thought with his flying sword. Moreover, now that he was the district magistrate, Qin Feng could come into contact with people from the Holy Gate. This was the most important matter. Wang Long and Li Hu didn't dare to be arrogant anymore. They dejectedly ran down to prepare clothes for Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen. The other bailiffs also hurriedly found an excuse to escape. They felt that Wei Changming had gone crazy. It was best to stay away from him at this time. What if he got infected? Qin Feng deliberately let Wei Changming stay and bullied him. He affectionately called him son. Wei Changming was so angry that his face turned black, but he didn't dare to explode. After a while, 2 sets of expensive silk-embroidered clothes were delivered. Qin Feng didn't bother to look at Wei Changming and his people anymore. He angrily scolded them and chased them away. Only the 2 of them were left in the room. Hua Xiaozhen was still standing in the same place, and couldn't come back to her senses for a long time. Xiaozhen, try these clothes and see if they fit you. If they don't, I'll get them to make another set for you. Qin Feng had already thrown Wei Changming and his people to the back of his mind. Hua Xiaozhen foolishly took the silk-embroidered clothes and started to take off her clothes. When she stood naked in front of Qin Feng, she suddenly woke up. Young Master Qiao, let's leave quickly. The Wei father and son definitely don't have good intentions. Young Master, don't be blinded by the benefits in front of you. Chapter 1361. The 2 sets of clothes fit him perfectly. Qin Feng wore a long white robe, and his long hair flowed in the wind. Hua Xiaozhen was mesmerized by his appearance. Hua Xiaozhen, on the other hand, was wearing a red qipao. It was a style that was specially worn by maidservants in ancient times. The sides of the skirt were slit to the side of her thighs, and one could vaguely see Xiaozhen's slender and fair legs. The qipao was a bright red, and it seemed to make her small face look even more charming. Before Hua Xiaozhen met Qin Feng, she had never worn silk clothing. Now she wore silk brocade clothes, rode a horse, and slept in a high-class place every day. It felt like a dream. She didn't dare to persuade Qin Feng to leave. Seeing that Qin Feng had decided to stay as the county magistrate, Hua Xiaozhen was prepared to die by his side. Regardless of life or death, as long as young Master Qiao didn't abandon her, it was fine. Young Master Qiao, breakfast is ready. The 2 had just changed when Wan Long knocked on the door and walked in. He carried all sorts of good wine and dishes. Qin Feng slapped him without saying anything and scolded. You're still calling me young Master Qiao? I think you don't want your head anymore. Qin Feng had long disliked these bailiffs. These people wanted to kill him, so how could Qin Feng let them off so easily? Half of Wang Long's face immediately swelled up. He was so angry that he glared at Qin Feng, looking like he wanted to fight. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she grabbed Qin Feng's clothes tightly. Tears welled up in her eyes again. Slap! At this time, Qin Feng slapped him again, and the other half of Wang Long's face swelled up as well. You even dare to glare at the county magistrate? Do you think I won't get someone to gouge out your eyes? Qin Feng never showed mercy to his enemies, and these two slaps completely woke Wang Long up. Now that county magistrate Wei was nowhere to be found, the huge yamen was managed by Qin Feng, and even young Master Wei gave in to Qin Feng. How could a mere bailiff fight against Qin Feng? Magistrate Chiao, please calm down. You just took office, this lowly one still hasn't gotten used to it. The anger on Wang Long's face suddenly disappeared, and he forced a smile to please Qin Feng. Qin Feng ignored him and had him put the breakfast on the table. Hua Shizhen was stunned to the side. Did young Master Chiao really become the county magistrate? Wang Long immediately retreated after delivering the food. Now, Qin Feng was like a demon in his eyes. Qin Feng pulled Hua Xiaozhen, who was in a daze, to sit in front of the table. She was so frightened that she suddenly woke up. Chiao, young Master Chiao, please spare this lowly servant can't sit. Hua Xiaozhen was a bit depressed. She found that Feng liked to have her sit down when he ate, but how could she do that? In the great land, where a slave and her master ate at Feng, there? In the land there, Feng said. Qin. Hua. And Hua. He. Qin. And. Qin, Feng, and said Hua, and said Hua. Hua said. And. Hua Qin. Qin, and Qin, he. Hua Shizhen's heart was filled with warmth. She was so touched that she wanted to cry. Young Master Chiao was the best master she had ever seen. However, Hua Xiaozhen's stubborn thoughts had been preserved for more than 10 years. How could they be changed so easily? She sat in Qin Feng's embrace and trembled. She couldn't even hold her chopsticks steadily, and she didn't eat a single bite. Xiaozhen, open your mouth! Qin Feng couldn't stand it anymore. He picked up a piece of beef and put it next to her mouth. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she fidgeted. Young Master Chiao, this can't be done. This slave can't eat. Qin Feng had long since discovered that Hua Xiaozhen would never touch meat dishes when they ate. Moreover, she would only eat one bowl of rice each time. Even if she wasn't full, she wouldn't eat a second bowl. Qin Feng's expression became cold. He pretended to be angry and said, Xiaozhen, if you don't eat, then I can only force you to eat with my mouth. That won't do. Young Master Chiao, Hua Xiaozhen was anxious to death. She knew Qin Feng was good to her, but her mind was sealed. She always felt that this wasn't right. Under Qin Feng's insistence, Hua Xiaozhen finally opened her small mouth and took a small bite of the beef. As she chewed slowly, her eyes sparkled like stars. She had forgotten how long it had been since she had eaten meat. It tasted much better than vegetables. As a hedonistic young master, he was disgusted by the taste of meat when he was outside. Since Hua Xiaozhen liked to eat beef, he fed her mouthful by mouthful. Hua Xiaozhen gradually relaxed a little. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she ate the food her master fed her. How she wished that this moment could be sealed forever. It was such a blissful moment. After the meal, there were still a lot of meat dishes left on the table. This was the best meal Hua Xiaozhen had eaten in her entire life. She looked at the remaining half-plate of beef and the large bowl of chicken soup with a hesitant expression. She looked at Qin Feng many times, but in the end, she didn't say anything. What's wrong, Xiaozhen? Qin Feng could tell that she wanted to say something. Hua Xiaozhen had already gotten up from Qin Feng's embrace. She stood to the side and said carefully, See, young Master Chiao, can this lowly servant take these leftovers? Qin Feng stilled. You're not full yet? Then continue eating, what are you afraid of? Hua Xiaozhen immediately waved her hands. Her mouth was full from Qin Feng's feeding, and this was the fullest she had ever eaten. This lowly servant wants to take it back for Grandma to eat. Grandma has lived her entire life, but I hasn't eaten meat before. Qin Feng stilled again and was moved by Hua Xiaozhen's filial piety. He walked up and rubbed her head. There's no need to take the leftovers, I'll have someone make another portion. Once it's done, we'll go to Hua family village. After eating and drinking their fill, Qin Feng carried Hua Xiaozhen and rode Fire Dragon Horse to Hua family village. A group of bailiffs followed and protected him. When they arrived at Hua family village, it was already noon. Many villagers had just finished their farm work, and were carrying hoes home to cook. "HM? Is that young Master Qiao and Xiaozhen? That brat is still alive. Why didn't the people from the Yamen kill him? Hurry and look, the one with the surname Qiao and Xiaozhen have changed into a new set of clothes, and there are many people riding horses behind them. What's going on?" Very quickly, someone noticed Qin Feng and the others. The procession of horses was too spectacular, and it was impossible to keep a low profile. In less than a minute, almost half of the villagers surrounded the village entrance. Everyone discussed and didn't understand what was going on. "Xiaozhen? Young Master Qiao? Are you really back?" An old granny suddenly ran out of the crowd and excitedly rushed over with the help of a walking stick. Hua Xiaozhen had already jumped off her horse and rushed over to hug Wang Xiumei. The two women started to cry and felt as if they were reunited between life and death. "Xiaozhen, why are you back? The people from the Yamen didn't bully you." After crying for a while, Wang Xiumei calmed down and had a confused expression. Hua Xiaozhen helped her granny wipe away her tears. A joyful smile suddenly blossomed on her face as she said, "Granny, young Master Qiao is so amazing. He's already the county magistrate. He was afraid that Granny would be worried, so he brought me back to tell you." When Hua Xiaozhen's words fell into the crowd's ears, the Hua family village instantly exploded. "Holy shit! That girl Hua Xiaozhen is crazy. She's actually talking nonsense. They even dared to impersonate the identity of the county magistrate. How did these two survive until now? The one with the surname Qiao, you actually dared to escape from the Yamen and escape back to the Hua family village. If you have the guts, don't run. I'll call people to arrest you right now." Zhou Dufei suddenly jumped out of the crowd. Since last night, he had been waiting for Zhang Jin to help him take credit at the Yamen. In the end, there was no news at all. Instead, Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen came. Hua Xiaozhen was already dissatisfied with Zhou Dufei. When she saw that he was disrespectful to young Master Qiao, she said with a huff, "Zhou Dufei, don't frame young Master Qiao. He didn't escape from prison. He's now the county magistrate of the West Town Yamen." The crowd exclaimed incessantly. The West Town magistrate was the highest-ranking official in this area. They had to kowtow when they saw the magistrate, but no one believed Hua Xiaozhen's words. The reason why they were surprised was because they never imagined that Hua Xiaozhen would dare to lie so boldly. "Ha! I think you're crazy, woman. That brat can be the county magistrate? Then Laozi is the magistrate." Zhou Dafei smiled coldly. He didn't put Hua Xiaozhen and Qin Feng in his eyes at all. Now that he had curried favor with Zhang Jin, he believed that in a few days, the Yamen would call him to receive his reward. Perhaps he could even get a position as a bailiff. If that happened, the entire Hua family village would be proud of him. At that time, he would forcefully take Hua Xiaozhen and beat Qin Feng. Would this brat still be arrogant then? I think you're the crazy one. You dare to pretend to be the magistrate. Hua Xiaozhen pouted and glared at Zhou Dafei. Zhou Dafei suddenly froze. He suddenly didn't recognize Hua Xiaozhen anymore. This woman used to be extremely weak. If he hit or scolded her, she wouldn't resist at all. But now, she dared to talk back to him? Zhou Dafei was so angry that his eyes turned blood red. "Hua Xiaozhen, you dare to yell at Laozi? Isn't it just being that Qiao's servant? Look at how capable you are. That brat pretended to be the county magistrate, and is about to be beheaded. When he dies, I want to see who will help you." Zhou Dafei cursed angrily. Hua Xiaozhen couldn't bear to hear others talk about Qin Feng being beheaded. She was so anxious that she was about to cry. "Zhou Dafei, I don't even want to pay attention to an ant like you, yet you're throwing yourself at me. Don't tell me you have masochism? Qin Feng saw that Hua Xiaojun was anxious and stepped in front of her and Wang Xiumei. Zhou Dafei was more or less afraid of Qin Feng's skills. He was so scared that he took 2 steps back. However, he was confident in his heart. Now that he had curried favor with Constable Zhang Jun of the Yamen, how could he be afraid of Qin Feng? Continued to be arrogant. I'll go to the Yamen right now to find Lord Zhang Jun. When he brings people to capture you, let's see if you can still be so arrogant. Zhou Dafei had a card up his sleeve. After he finished speaking, he looked as if he was about to go down the mountain to the Yamen. The villagers all had playful smiles on their faces. They looked at Qin Feng with schadenfreude. They felt that this person didn't have long to live. Chapter 1362. Zhou Dafei suddenly froze. He was preoccupied with bickering with Hua Xiaojun and Qin Feng, and didn't pay attention to the group of people behind Qin Feng. After Qin Feng's reminder, everyone looked over, and their eyes and jaws dropped to the ground. Those people are really from the Yamen. Yeah, aren't they bailiffs from the Yamen? They're all wearing bailiff's armor. Holy shit! The sun rose from the west. Could that Qiao guy really have become the county magistrate? The Hua village people were dumbfounded. Young Master Qiao wasn't killed by the Yamen, and he even became the county magistrate. The world was coming to an end. Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others stood behind Qin Feng and were being pointed at by a group of poor people. They were so angry that they were about to explode. However, they still didn't understand the situation. Did County Magistrate Wei really give the position of County Magistrate to that Qiao guy? Was there something wrong with his brain? Heh! Do you really think I'll believe you just because you spent money to find a few people to act with you? Just as everyone was panicking, Zhou Dafei suddenly laughed loudly. He knew that Qin Feng was quite rich, and it wasn't hard at all to find a group of poor people to act. No matter what, Zhou Dafei didn't believe that Qin Feng became the county magistrate even if he was beaten to death. That was the highest official in West Town. Unless County Magistrate Wei was stupid, the position would have been passed on to young Master Wei. Why would it fall on Qin Feng? With Zhou Dafei's reminder, the Hua village people suddenly came to their senses. They only needed to think a bit to understand that this was definitely the Qiao guy acting. This Qiao guy is simply too daring. Not only did he pretend to be the county magistrate, he even hired people to pretend to be bailiffs. Even if he had 9 heads, it wouldn't be enough to behead him. The bailiffs of the West Town Yamen came yesterday, and none of these people are the bailiffs from yesterday. They're clearly fake. Hua Xiaojun, you bitch, look at what you've done. You'll only be happy if you kill everyone in Hua village. The crowd was in an uproar again, and some women started to curse at Hua Xiaojun. Now that Qin Feng had pretended to be the county magistrate, if this got to the Yamen, the entire Hua village would be in trouble. Little Zhen, how could you do such a thing? You'll really lose your head for this. Even Wang Xiumei was anxious. However, she only scolded Hua Xiaojun and immediately pushed her away. Hurry up and let young Master Qiao take you away. Leave Distant Eye City. The further you run, the better. Hua Xiaojun felt depressed. Suddenly, she could somewhat understand young Master Qiao's feelings. Qin Feng was a little annoyed by the noise. He yelled at Wang Long, who was still in a daze. Are you stupid? Why aren't you arresting that unruly commoner for me? He insists that I'm a fake district magistrate. Give him 50 strokes of the cane first. Under Qin Feng's command, Wang Long and Li Hu immediately rushed towards Zhou Dafei. They didn't want to pay attention to Qin Feng, but after being abused this morning, they didn't dare to disobey. Both of them were experts at the first stage of true qi. They grabbed Zhou Dafei like a little chick and brought him in front of Qin Feng. The villagers were stupefied. Was this guy surnamed Qiao addicted to pretending to be the district magistrate? County Magistrate Qiao, can we execute it now? Wang Long asked respectfully. Beat him. Just as Qin Feng finished speaking, 2 more bailiffs rushed up and pressed Zhou Dafei to the ground. Wang Long directly pulled down his pants. The village woman was so embarrassed that she immediately turned her head, but there were also some people who peeked out of curiosity. Pa! Wang Long and Li Hu already made their moves. Their strength was so strong that Zhou Dufei felt his buttocks blossom with one strike of the cane. I'll. Fuck your grandpa, you guys really dare to hit me? Do you really think you're bailiffs? Hurry up and help me up, I'm going to the yamen to sue you. Zhou Dufei still didn't understand the situation. He angrily cursed. Wang Long and Li Hu already had a belly full of anger. Their blows became even heavier. You idiot, I'm not a bailiff, you're a bailiff. You unruly commoner, I'll break your dog legs. Zhou Dufei still wanted to threaten them, but after 3 strikes of the cane, he was already in so much pain that he couldn't speak. Wang Long and Li Hu didn't care about this person's life or death. They each hit him with vigor. The villagers cried out when they saw this. Zhou Hai angrily rushed out, pointed at Qin Feng's nose, and cursed. Qin Feng called out a few bailiffs, and Zhou Hai was also given 50 strokes of the cane. It was noon, and everyone wasn't afraid of the hot sun. They didn't even eat and surrounded the village entrance to watch Zhou Dufei and his son get beaten. The villagers were extremely depressed. They still didn't believe that Qin Feng was the county magistrate. Seeing this brat put on a show, they thought he was really crazy. Qin Feng didn't care about their thoughts. He was already comforting Wang Xiaomei with Hua Xiaozhen. Hua Xiaozhen stood close to Qin Feng with her back to Zhou Dufei and Li Hu. She didn't dare to look around. She was deeply afraid that her eyes would be polluted and she wouldn't be able to serve young Master Qiao. The 50 strokes of the cane ended quickly. Actually, by the time it reached the 10th stroke, Zhou Hai and his son had already fainted. However, Wang Long and the others wouldn't stop. They wanted to vent all the anger in their hearts today. County Magistrate Qiao, those 2 guys are unconscious. Should we behead them on the spot? Wang Long had already arrived at Qin Feng's side. His expression was serious, and he didn't look like he was joking at all. The villagers trembled in fear. They thought to themselves that this Qiao guy was going crazy from acting. He wouldn't actually kill the Zhou father and son in front of everyone, right? Qin Feng had long disliked Zhou Hai and his son, but he wouldn't go so far as to kill them. In the end, these 2 were just poor people at the bottom of the social ladder. They just developed a personality that went with the wind. Moreover, Wang Xiaomei had long since expressed her vow to stay in Hua village. If Qin Feng really killed the Zhou father and son, how could Wang Xiaomei stay in Hua village in the future? Don't worry about those 2. Bring the things they brought back into the house. Qin Feng waved his hand, and Wang Long and the others immediately got to work. On the horses they rode, there were 2 large sacks. This time, they carried more than a dozen sacks, which made the villagers confused. Xiaozhen W. What is this? Wang Xiaomei asked when she saw those people carrying sacks and walking towards her house. Hua Xiaozhen's face lit up with a blissful smile. She sneaked a glance at Qin Feng and then said to Wang Xiaomei, Grandma, those sacks are all beef, lamb, horse, chicken, duck, fish, and some silk clothes, cloth shoes, cotton padded jackets, bedding, and some loose silver. Hua Xiaozhen felt that she couldn't finish talking. Those things were all brought by Qin Feng. At the time, Hua Xiaozhen jumped in fright. The villagers cried out in alarm, and Wang Xiaomei sat on the ground in fright. These dozen or so sacks were actually filled with expensive goods. Where did Xiaozhen and young Master Qiao get them? Could young Master Qiao really have become the county magistrate? The villagers couldn't stay calm either. For the first time, they started to suspect that the Qiao guy didn't really become the county magistrate. County Magistrate Qiao, the things have been put away. These wicked people dared to question your identity. Should we arrest them and bring them back to the yamen? Wang Long ran over, tired and sweating. The villagers couldn't hold it in anymore. A bold youth stood out and said, You guys say you're from the yamen? Do you have any proof? Wang Long wanted to slap that idiot to death, but seeing that Qin Feng didn't say anything, he didn't dare to act blindly without thinking. Open your dog eyes and take a good look. This is the yamen's token. We're all constables of the West Town Yamen. This is the newly appointed County Magistrate Chiao. Why aren't you kneeling when you see County Magistrate Chiao? Wang Long took out an identity token from his waist, and the crowd immediately cried out in alarm. Wasn't this the token that represented the identity of a constable? It's really the Yamen's constables. How is this possible? Someone came to his senses with a start, and looked at Qin Feng in disbelief. He felt like he was dreaming. This brat had just offended a group of bailiffs yesterday afternoon, and was taken back to the West Town Yamen. Today, he had returned triumphantly as the county magistrate. This was simply too legendary. This lowly one pays his respects to the county magistrate. I hope the county magistrate won't blame us. A few villagers had already knelt on the ground and kowtowed to Qin Feng. The others came to their senses one after another and knelt down. They were so scared that their bodies trembled. Wang Xiaomei was also scared silly. She prepared to kneel, but Qin Feng supported her. At the same time, he pulled Hua Shuzhen back. Otherwise, this woman would also kneel. There were several dozen Hua family villagers in front of him, and they all knelt in a row. It was a spectacular scene. Young Master Chiao. Hua Xiaozhen trembled in fear at this scene. Before she finished speaking, Qin Feng understood what she meant. He said to the villagers, "Everyone get up. I'm not here to suppress you. I just came back to see Third Grandma Wang. Now that I'm the county magistrate of West Town, I'll expand the development of Hua family village in the future. You can all live here in peace." Qin Feng didn't have any enmity with these villagers, so he didn't make things difficult for them. When everyone heard these words, they all let out long sighs of relief. However, they still didn't get up. The idea of being a lowly commoner that had been instilled in them for decades was deeply ingrained. After knowing that Qin Feng was really the newly appointed county magistrate, they didn't dare to slight him in the slightest. Qin Feng couldn't persuade these people, so he simply pulled Hua Xiaozhen and Wang Xiaomei into the house. After seeing Qin Feng leave, the villagers dared to get up. They hurriedly ran home to hide. Wang Long and the other bailiffs stood guard at the village entrance. They couldn't complain even though they were standing under the scorching sun. Wang Xiaomei was still in a daze. She couldn't understand how young Master Chiao had suddenly become the county magistrate. Young Master Chiao. No, County Magistrate Chiao, this old servant greets you. Wang Xiaomei was a bit afraid of Qin Feng. She entered the house and wanted to kneel again. Qin Feng felt helpless. He supported her and said, "Third Grandma Wang, don't be so polite with me. Xiaozhen is my servant, so we're considered family." Wang Xiaomei suddenly burst into tears. She knew that her granddaughter had found a good master. Being able to give Xiaozhen to Qin Feng meant that Wang Xiaomei's last worry was completely gone. Qin Feng had dinner at home. Wang Xiaomei and Hua Xiaozhen still refused to sit down. However, they were more talkative and wore sweet smiles on their faces. Qin Feng had been in the divine great land for a week, and this meal made him feel like he was at home. He missed the women in Hero City even more now. Qin Feng had been in the divine great land for a week. Chapter 1363. The next morning, Qin Feng left Hua village with Hua Xiaozhen and the bailiffs. The people of Hua village escorted them from 1,000 miles away. They were certain that young Master Chiao was the new district magistrate, but they still found it hard to believe. The group of people rushed back to the yamen. As soon as they returned, they saw Wei Changming rushing over anxiously. "County Magistrate Chiao, you're finally back. An important person has come to the yamen. You should go and receive him." Although Wei Changming had swallowed his anger in front of Qin Feng, this was the first time he had addressed Qin Feng respectfully. Qin Feng immediately knew that trouble was coming. Until now, he still didn't understand why the Wei father and son gave the position of district magistrate to him. Qin Feng guessed that their intentions were clear, but he didn't care too much. Hua Xiaozhen, on the other hand, became nervous. She grabbed Qin Feng's clothes tightly and looked at him worriedly. Qin Feng patted Hua Xiaozhen's arm to comfort her, and asked Wei Changming, "What important person has come?" Even Wang Long and the others were confused. Wei Changming said anxiously, "The disciples of Distant Eye City's 3 sacred gates are here. County Magistrate Qiao, don't ask so much and follow me in." Qin Feng's eyes brightened. He came to the Yamen to wait for the sacred gate disciples. He didn't expect them to come so soon. Hua Xiaozhen and the bailiff's expressions changed drastically when they heard the 2 words. Sacred gate. They looked very fearful. In this divine land, the people of the sacred gate were the people of the sacred gate, especially the sect leaders of the sacred gate. They were existences that stood above tens of thousands of people. Even the city lords of the 8 major cities were their subordinates. As for this West Town's district magistrate, he didn't even deserve to carry the shoes of the sacred gate disciples. "Oh no! Young Master Qiao, I know why they made you the district magistrate. Let's go, or else you'll be in big trouble." Hua Xiaozhen suddenly woke up and pulled Qin Feng to escape. Qin Feng asked, "Why did they make me the district magistrate?" Hua Xiaozhen was still a little fearful of Wei Changming, Wang Long, and the others. She suppressed her voice and said, "Now that the Distant Eye City and Meteor City are at war, the moment the Holy Gate sends out disciples, they will have to mobilize the bailiffs and officials of the various regions in the city to go to the battlefield. That Wei Xingxing is definitely unwilling to go, so he threw this difficult task to young Master Qiao." Hua Xiaozhen wasn't an idiot. She thought of such a faraway matter, and Qin Feng suddenly realized something. However, he wasn't too worried. Although the true qi in his body had yet to recover, with the flying sword in his hand, even if he couldn't defeat the Holy Gate's disciples, escaping with Hua Xiaozhen wouldn't be a problem. At this moment, Wei Changming was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. He was subservient to Qin Feng just for this moment. If he messed things up today, he would definitely kill Qin Feng with his own hands. "What are you mumbling about, you lowly servant? There's no place for you to speak here." "Shut up!" Wei Changming suddenly flared up. He guessed that Hua Xiaozhen was trying to persuade Qin Feng to leave. Hua Xiaozhen was so frightened that she immediately shut her mouth. She lowered her head and shivered. Qin Feng walked in front of Wei Changming with large strides, raised his hand, and slapped him twice. "You unfilial son, how dare you behave atrociously toward your father's servant? See if father won't slap your mouth until it's rotten!" The 2 dull sounds had already faded away, but Hua Xiaozhen, Wang Long, and the others were still in a daze. Wei Changming covered his red and swollen face and stared at Qin Feng in disbelief. No one had ever dared to slap him in his entire life. "You with the surname Qiao, you even dare to hit me? Who do you think you are? Do you believe that I can immediately remove you from your position as the county magistrate with just a word from me?" Wei Changming was truly enraged, and he started scolding Qin Feng. When Hua Xiaozhen saw that her master was standing up for her, she was extremely grateful and worried for Qin Feng at the same time. Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others had long found Qin Feng an eyesore. They immediately pulled out half of their cold sabers and surrounded him. As long as Wei Changming gave the order, they would definitely slice this bastard Qin Feng into 2. Faced with such a situation, Qin Feng smiled faintly and said, "You're so capable? Then remove me from my position as the county magistrate. I don't want to do it anymore." Qin Feng already knew what the Wei father and son were thinking, so he wasn't afraid of Wei Changming's threat. However, Wang Long didn't know. He yelled at Qin Feng, "Stinking brat, if you want to remove me, then remove me. Who do you think you are? Young Master Wei, this guy is too arrogant. Quickly remove him from his position as the county magistrate, and I will immediately remove him." Wang Long and Li Hu glared at Qin Feng. They were about to attack, but they were stunned by Wei Changming's 2 slaps. "Young Master Wei, you!" The 2 of them were so angry that they almost killed Wei Changming with their sabers. Wei Changming hadn't finished his official business yet, so he had to let Qin Feng have his way. However, he wasn't afraid of Wang Long and Li Hu. Seeing that they were still unconvinced, he slapped them again. "You still dare to glare at me? Have you grown wings?" Do you believe that I won't remove you two from your positions as constables? The two of them instantly cowered. If they lost their positions as constables, they could only be reduced to bandits. Hua Xiaojun was confused by the sudden change in the situation. Wei Changming suppressed the anger in his heart. After slapping the two of them, he squeezed a smile on his face and moved closer to Qin Feng. Hee hee. Magistrate Chiao, I taught those two disobedient bastards a lesson. Magistrate Chiao, don't bother with them anymore. It's not good for your noble status. There are esteemed guests waiting for Magistrate Chiao in the main hall. Hurry up and follow me. When Wei Changming got to business, Qin Feng couldn't be bothered to look at him anymore. He pulled Hua Xiaojun into the yamen. After passing through the courtyard, they arrived at the main hall. There were already people sitting on both sides, and they were all warriors dressed in long robes. Hee hee. Seniors from the Holy Gate, Magistrate Xiao went out to deal with some matters. He is back now. Sorry for the long wait. Wei Changming didn't dare to slight these Holy Gate's disciples. He had heard that these people were true experts. They could take a person's life with a flick of their fingers. If they angered them, they wouldn't even know how they died. Hua Xiaojun had never seen a true Holy Gate's disciple before. The moment she entered the room, her legs trembled. Wang Long, Li Hu, and the other bailiffs didn't even dare to enter the door. They stood in 2 rows at the entrance like 2 stone pillars. Only Qin Feng's expression didn't change. It was as if he didn't see the 2 rows of Holy Gate's disciples. He actually pulled Hua Xiaojun and swaggered to the stone chair at the highest position. Cold sweat appeared on Wei Changming's forehead. He thought that this Xiao guy was an idiot. It was one thing to act cool in front of him, but he still acted so recklessly in front of the Holy Gate's seniors. As expected, the expressions of the men and women in the 2 rows below the stage sank. A youth wearing a white robe with a red sun pattern on his chest stood up. You are the West Town Yamen's magistrate? How awe-inspiring. How dare you put on airs in front of our Holy Gate? Are you tired of living? The moment this person finished speaking, his body suddenly emitted surging true energy. There was a sudden gust of wind in the great hall, pressuring Wei Changming and the bailiffs at the entrance so much that they couldn't breathe. Hua Xiaojun was so scared that she was about to cry. She secretly grabbed the corner of Qin Feng's clothes. Wei Changming was also so scared that his face turned pale. He quickly stood up and said something good. Senior, please don't be angry. Xiao, Magistrate Xiao just came back and doesn't know the identity of all the seniors. Then Magistrate Xiao quickly apologized to everyone. Wei Changming kept giving Qin Feng meaningful looks, but Qin Feng acted as if he couldn't see it. His gaze swept across the 2 rows of people below, and his pupils suddenly constricted. Spirit Beast Sex Ling Yuner was actually sitting among them. Not long ago, Qin Feng broke through the formation to enter the Despair Gate, but he was almost killed by Ling Yuner in the formation. He swore that the next time he saw this woman, he would make her regret it. He didn't expect to meet her so soon. However, Qin Feng quickly calmed down. Right now, he couldn't circulate true energy. If he wanted to kill this woman, he could only use star technology. However, Ling Yuner was a stage 4 true Qi expert, so killing her wouldn't be easy. If he didn't kill this woman and exposed his identity, he would be in big trouble. Stinking brat, are you stupid? Quickly kowtow and admit your mistake. Seeing that Qin Feng didn't respond for a long time, the white-robed man roared again. Wei Changming was angry and afraid. He didn't dare to stand up and say anything else. After Qin Feng came back to his senses, his gaze fell on the Holy Gate disciple. He quickly recognized this person's identity. It turned out that he was a disciple of the Red Sun sect. Not long ago, Qin Feng fought with the Despair Gate on the ocean of Hero City. The Red Sun sect's elder Sun Heng died under his blade. This man in front of him was in his early 30s, and he was only at stage 4 true Qi. How dare he be so arrogant with Qin Feng? The atmosphere instantly froze. Wei Changming and Hua Xiaojun were anxious to death. The Red Sun sect's disciple, Sun Dao, had run out of patience. Suddenly he swung his sword and stabbed towards Gao Tang. "Stinking brat, I think you're courting death," Hua Xiuzhen cried out in fright. Wei Changming fell to the ground. In everyone's eyes, Qin Feng would die without a doubt under seeking Dao's sword. As such, the plan that Wei Changming and his father had painstakingly laid out would be destroyed. "Wait, I have a spirit weapon on me." Seeing that the sword was about to pierce his throat, Qin Feng spoke unhurriedly. Sun Dao's expression changed drastically. He hurriedly withdrew his sword. He almost killed Qin Feng. "You have a spirit weapon? Do you know what a spirit weapon is?" Sun Dao said with a cold expression. Even the other Holy Gate's disciples who were sitting below were excited. They stood up and looked at Qin Feng. Wei Changming and the bailiffs didn't know what Qin Feng was planning. Although they hadn't seen a spirit weapon before, they knew it was an extremely rare treasure in the Divine Continent. The Holy Gate disciples fought for it. How could this Xiao guy have such a thing? Wei Changming was about to die from anger. This guy even dared to lie to a Holy Gate senior? At this time, a sword hum sounded in the air. As if he was performing a magic trick, a pink longsword appeared in Qin Feng's hand. The moon's sorrow seemed to flow with a majestic aura. It was the condensation of the moon god's power. Once this sword appeared, the hall became silent. It was as if time had stopped. Chapter 1364. Swoosh! Several gusts of wind blew past, and the Holy Gate's disciples who were originally standing below the stage all stood on the stage. Wei Changming and the rest didn't even have time to react as they were shocked by the strength of the Holy Gate's disciples. However, the Sacred Gate disciples were shocked by Munmorn in Qin Feng's hand. "It's really a rare pink equipment and a spiritual sword. Our White Warehouse sect happens to be a sword sect. This spiritual sword is mine." A man in his early 40s reached out to grab the spiritual sword in Qin Feng's hand. He was Xia Long, a disciple of White Warehouse sect. However, before he could grab the spiritual sword, Sun Dao stopped him with a palm. "Xia Long, what do you mean by this? I found this spiritual sword first." Sun Dao's face was cold. This was a rare pink equipment. How could he give it to others? The two were quarreling fiercely when Ling Yuner also reached out. Qin Feng dodged to the side. Ling Yuner's expression changed drastically. "She actually snatched nothing? You're a warrior? How could you dodge me?" Ling Yuner glared at Qin Feng with a cold face. The situation was suddenly about to fight. Hua Xiaozhen was so scared that she didn't know what to do. Sun Dao and Xia Long saw that the Spirit Beast sect people also had their eyes on the spiritual sword. The two immediately stopped and blocked Ling Yuner from both sides. "What are you doing?" Ling Yuner glared at the two angrily. Xia Long said, "Junior sister Yuner, this spiritual sword is mine. I advise you not to have any ideas about it." Sun Dao immediately rebuked. "Xia Long, do you have any shame? That spirit sword is clearly mine." The two went from fighting to bickering, but Ling Yuner couldn't snatch it openly anymore. Among the three, Xia Long was the strongest. He had stepped into the 5th stage of true qi. Ling Yuner and Sun Dao were both at the 4th stage of true qi. The three of them each brought 3 disciples, but they were all at the 2nd or 3rd stage of true qi. Seeing that the 3 forces were about to fight, Hua Xiuzhen and the others were anxious. Qin Feng, on the other hand, wanted to laugh. He deliberately took out Munmorn to incite the disciples of the 3 sects to fight. The 3 quarreled for a long time, but there was no result. According to the strength of the scene, Xia Long could kill the people from the other 2 sects and snatch the spiritual sword. But if he did that, it would definitely cause a war between the 2 sects, and that would not be worth it. "White Sun faction, Red Sun faction, you'd better back off. I'm here on behalf of the Spirit Beast sect. If there's any discord, the Spirit Beast sect won't spare your sects." Ling Yuner had lost her patience. In front of a rare pink spiritual sword, she directly brought out her backer. Sun Dao and Xia Long's expressions turned cold, but they didn't retort for a while. There were 3 sacred sects in distant Ice City, which were the White Sun sect, the Red Sun sect, and the Spirit Beast sect. However, the Spirit Beast sect was the strongest. Even if the White Sun sect and the Red Sun sect joined forces, they might not be a match for the Spirit Beast sect. Hee hee! There's no need for the three of you to quarrel. I'll keep this spiritual sword for myself for now. After this expedition to the battlefield, I'll give this sword to whoever kills the most enemies. Qin Feng suddenly opened his mouth. Ling Yuner and the other two looked at him. They almost forgot that this spiritual sword actually belonged to Qin Feng. Seeing Qin Feng casually take out a pink spiritual sword, Sun Dao's attitude toward him changed a little. He said in a calm tone, "County Magistrate Qiao, do you have any other spiritual weapons? Where did you get that spiritual sword?" Sun Dao's question also hit the bottom of Ling Yuner and Xia Long's hearts. As sacred sex disciples, it was rare for them to see a blue-grade spiritual weapon. Most of them used white or orange-grade spiritual weapons. However, Qin Feng, a mere county magistrate, actually got his hands on a rare pink-grade spiritual weapon? It was simply unimaginable. "I have a few spiritual weapons with me. These spiritual weapons are of similar quality. They're all antiques that I've collected from all over the years when I was the county magistrate. Later on, I found out that some of these antiques are spiritual weapons, so I've been keeping them." Qin Feng casually made up an excuse, but Ling Yuner and the other two were dumbfounded. Qin Feng said he had a lot of spiritual weapons with similar quality. Didn't that mean that he had a lot of rare pink-grade spiritual weapons? Ling Yuner and the other two's eyes lit up. They couldn't wait to kidnap Qin Feng on the spot and force him to hand over all his spiritual weapons. However, the three of them didn't make a move in the end. They were apprehensive of Qin Feng's power. "Good, very good. County Magistrate Qiao, I like your character very much. Can we be friends?" Sun Dao, who was arrogant and despotic just a moment ago, and even wanted Qin Feng to kneel and beg for mercy, now looked like he was trying to curry favor with Qin Feng. As soon as he finished speaking, Xia Long came up to Qin Feng and cupped his fist. "County Magistrate Qiao, I'm Xia Long, a disciple of White Barn sect. If County Magistrate Qiao wants to join the Holy Gate, I can bring you back to White Barn sect." Both of them started to curry favor with Qin Feng. Their target was the rare pink-grade spiritual weapon. Ling Yuner clenched her teeth in anger. She stood up and said, "County Magistrate Qiao, White Barn sect and Red Sun sect are nothing. The stability and prosperity of Distant Ice City depends on our Spirit Beast sect. If County Magistrate Qiao is willing to give me all his spiritual weapons, I'll report this to the elders when I return to the sect. By then, it won't be difficult for County Magistrate Qiao to be promoted to a prefecture governor or even a city governor." The three of them threw out generous bait, and Hua Shizhen was dizzy. Wei Changming's eyes almost popped out of his head. He started to regret the plan he had arranged with his father. As for Wang Long, Li Hu, and the others who were standing outside the door, they were completely speechless. They thought this Qiao guy was too lucky. Why did he have people fawn over him wherever he went? Hee hee. All three of you are experts from the Holy Gate. This is putting me in a difficult position. I believe that no matter which party I give the spiritual weapons to, the other two parties will bear a grudge against me. If that's the case, I'll keep the spiritual weapons for now and look at them in the future." What Qin Feng said was the truth. Ling Yuner and the others couldn't refute him. The three of them looked at each other coldly, but they didn't force Qin Feng to take out his spiritual weapons. After all, no one was willing to give in. Even if Qin Feng took out his rare pink-grade spiritual weapons, they would still have to fight it out. "County Magistrate Qiao, we'll do as you say." The three of them finally retreated and sat in their seats absent-mindedly. They were thinking of ways to take away Qin Feng's spiritual weapons. Qin Feng sat in the hall while Hua Xiaojun carefully fanned him from behind. Wei Changming was still in a daze. He thought Xiao was going to be tortured to death by the seniors from the Holy Gate. In the end, he became the treasure that the Holy Gate fought over. "Unfilial son, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and pour some tea for the guests." Qin Feng rolled his eyes at Wei Changming, and Wei Changming instantly snapped out of his daze. He was so angry that his face turned ashen. All his life, he was used to serving others. When had he ever served others like a servant? However, Wei Changming didn't dare to disobey these experts from the Holy Gate. At that time, Qin Feng didn't even need to make a move. These people would kill him with a single slap. The situation was stabilized by Qin Feng. Wei Changming was busy pouring tea for everyone, but Qin Feng treated him like air. He said to the people from the Holy Gate, "My friends, everyone came from afar. I believe it's for the war, right?" Logically speaking, a county magistrate's status was nothing in front of a Holy Gate disciple. The county magistrate spoke with great caution, and the Holy Gate disciples were cold and indifferent to him. But now that they knew Qin Feng had many rare pink-grade spiritual weapons, Ling Yuner and the others fought to speak to Qin Feng first. They wanted to get closer to him. "County Magistrate Xiao, we are indeed here for the war." Sun Dao interrupted, and his face was flushed with excitement. Xia Long added, "Now that the war between Distant Ice City and Meteor City is at hand, the Holy Gate sent us here to mobilize the government forces. If there are no mistakes, we will set off in 3 days." Ling Yuner added, "Actually, the war between the two cities depends on the strength of the Holy Gate. Our Distant Ice City is led by the Spirit Bee sect, and the Red Sun sect and the White Sun sect are supporting. Meteor City is led by Jichin, and the Moonfall Spring sect and the Cloud Volcano sect are supporting. Based on the strength of the sects, they are evenly matched. This will be a tough battle." Ling Yuner belittled the White Sun sect and the Red Sun sect in front of everyone. Sun Dao and Xia Long were infuriated, but they didn't retort because what Ling Yuner said was the truth. Qin Feng had heard of all these sects, and he had even killed their disciples. Now, he felt somewhat fortunate that he had used the 100 transformation mask to change his appearance when he entered the Extinction sect. Otherwise, if he were to bump into Ling Yuner with his current appearance, there would definitely be a fierce battle. After the three of them explained the situation, Qin Feng understood a lot about the war between the two cities. Meteor City and Distant Ice City were separated by a mountain. The size, power, and development of the two cities were about the same. Therefore, the Saint Gates of both cities were eyeing each other's cities. If they could merge the two cities, their power would be more than doubled. Qin Feng didn't have a good impression of the Extinction sects. Not long ago, he had tortured all of them in the outside world. Now that the two cities were at war, Qin Feng suddenly had an idea. He could let them fight to the death, and then he could reap the benefits. "All right, I will issue an announcement later to gather the young adults of West Town and the 3 villages to wait for the war." At this point, Qin Feng sent Wang Long and Li Hu away to deal with the business. Ling Yuner and the others were arranged to rest in their rooms. Wei Changming was still in a daze. When he saw that Qin Feng seemed to have connections with the Holy Gate, he was extremely jealous. He even thought that if his father hadn't left, maybe he and his father could have taken this opportunity to become the Holy Gate's disciples. Qin Feng stayed in his room for the whole afternoon. Although he used the 100 transformation mask to change his appearance to Qiao Feng, some of his habitual actions were not easy to change. Now that his strength had not recovered, it was better to keep a low profile and be cautious. However, when he just finished dinner, Ling Yuner came looking for him. "County Magistrate Xiao, are you free tonight? I want to invite you to my room for a chat." Ling Yuner had changed out of the training clothes she wore in the afternoon. She was wearing a tight cheongsam skirt that perfectly outlined her curvaceous figure. She seemed to have some light makeup on her face, and her beauty was outstanding. Chapter 1365. Qin Feng wasn't afraid of this woman. Back then, he was in a hurry to enter the Despair sect, so he neglected to guard against her. Now that Qin Feng was constantly on guard, Ling Yuner was nothing to him. "Yo! Beautiful Yuner, you look so beautiful tonight." Qin Feng looked like a pig as he stared fixedly at Ling Yuner's breasts. A cold light flashed in Ling Yuner's eyes, but she smiled and said, Magistrate Xiao, you're making fun of me. Why don't we go to my room and have a drink with Magistrate Xiao? Hua Xiaojun was unhappy that young Master Xiao was charmed by that vixen. She secretly tugged on Qin Feng's arm and looked at him with a wronged expression. Qin Feng glared at Hua Xiaojun and said, "Do you have any sense? Hurry up and leave, I want to chat with beautiful Yuner for the whole night." Hua Xiaojun's tears started to form, but she didn't say a word and walked out with her head lowered. Ling Yuner originally wanted to trick Qin Feng into going to her room, but when she saw this man's impatient expression, Ling Yuner suppressed the anger in her heart. However, before she obtained the spiritual weapon, she couldn't explode. "Ha ha! Magistrate Xiao, you're really tall and sturdy. Let this little girl toast you." Ling Yuner poured a glass of wine for Qin Feng, but in a split second, she put some knockout drug in it. If this was done in front of an ordinary person, they would definitely not be able to see it. However, how could she see through Qin Feng's sharp eyes? Qin Feng pretended not to see anything. When he received the glass of wine, he purposely touched Ling Yuner's lily-white hand, deliberately angering this woman. "Ha ha! This young master is very happy to be able to drink and chat with a great beauty like Yuner." Ling Yuner was so angry that she almost exploded. However, she suppressed the anger in her heart when she saw Qin Feng tilt his head back and drink the wine. "Magistrate Xiao, this little girl toasts you again." Ling Yuner was afraid that the effect of the knockout drug wasn't enough, so she poured another glass. Qin Feng didn't refuse. He had the all-purpose antidote in his body, so any poison that entered his body was automatically neutralized. Being touched by Qin Feng again, Ling Yuner was so angry that she almost crushed her teeth. She lost her patience. Seeing that the 2 glasses of wine were enough, she started to get to the point. "Magistrate Xiao, where's the spiritual sword you took out at noon? Why don't you take it out and let me see it?" Ling Yuner's voice sounded as if she was acting coquettishly. This woman's looks were not bad, and her skin was as white as snow. In addition, after cultivating, her body had a hint of immortal qi. If an ordinary man was in front of her, they would have long since pounced on her. However, Qin Feng didn't feel anything. All of the women around him were prettier than Ling Yuner. Even that girl, Hua Xiaojun, was prettier than Ling Yuner after she dressed up. "Beautiful Yuner wants to see the great protector sword?" Qin Feng pretended to be lecherous, and even twitched his eyebrows at Ling Yuner. Ling Yuner's lily-white hand instinctively touched the long sword at her waist. She almost slashed Qin Feng, but she endured it and continued to smile. "That's right, Magistrate Xiao, I want to see your great protector sword." Qin Feng laughed loudly. He suddenly stood up and looked like he was going to undo his belt. Ling Yuner was embarrassed and angry. She slammed the table and shouted, "Xiao, what are you doing?" The woman was completely enraged. Qin Feng looked at her in confusion and said, "Didn't you want to see my great protector sword? I'm taking it out now." Ling Yuner was stunned and couldn't react for a moment. But very quickly, her face was so red that it seemed like it was going to burn. This Xiao was really too shameless. "Magistrate Xiao, I'm talking about that pink spirit sword," Ling Yuner said through gritted teeth. Qin Feng slapped his forehead and looked as if he had suddenly realized something. "Oh! So beautiful Yuner wants to see that sword. I almost misunderstood." Qin Feng didn't finish his sentence. Instead, he looked into his thighs. He was deliberately angering Ling Yuner. This woman almost killed him. Ling Yuner was about to go crazy because of Qin Feng. If it wasn't for the spirit sword and the other spirit weapons on Qin Feng's body, she would have slashed this reckless brat in half. "Beautiful Yuner, don't be anxious. I'll take out the treasure for you now." Seeing that Ling Yuner was so angry that she didn't say anything, Qin Feng waved his hand and a jade bottle appeared in his hand. Ling Yuner almost pulled out her sword again. She thought that Qin Feng was playing with her again. But halfway through her action, she was stunned. The room was filled with a rich fragrance of medicine. What Qin Feng took out was a bottle of medicinal pills. "What kind of medicinal pill is this?" Ling Yuner's eyes lit up. Qin Feng poured out one pill. The pill was round and milky white. It looked like a pearl. This is the essence-gathering pill. It can condense spiritual energy and increase the speed of cultivation. As a disciple of the Holy Gate, Ling Yuna naturally knew what the spirit-gathering pill was. Her eyes suddenly lit up as she stared at the spirit-gathering pill in Qin Feng's hand. It was as if she was staring at a spring in a desert. Essence-gathering pill? Is this really a grade 5 essence-gathering pill? Ling Yuna was stunned. She looked at Qin Feng and the pill in his hand in disbelief. Isn't this brat just the magistrate of the West Town Yamen? Where did he get so many treasures? A pink spirit weapon and a grade 5 essence-gathering pill? One had to know how precious medicinal pills were to Holy Gate disciples. Moreover, this was a grade 5 essence-gathering pill. Even with Ling Yuna's status in the Spirit Beast sect, she had never eaten a grade 5 essence-gathering pill. Quick, give it to me! After regaining her senses, Ling Yuna snatched the essence-gathering pill without hesitation and swallowed it. Her face was filled with ecstasy. She had been stuck at stage 4 true qi for more than 2 years. With the help of the essence-gathering pill, she might have a chance to break through to stage 5 true qi. This grade 5 essence-gathering pill was indeed precious, but it was nothing in Qin Feng's eyes. During the alchemy conference, Huatuo refined the upgraded version of the essence-gathering pill, the ascending spirit pill. That ascending spirit pill was a grade 6 gold pill, which was a level higher than the essence-gathering pill. Looking at the excited Ling Yuna, Qin Feng was amused. The reason why he took out the essence-gathering pill was naturally not to give it to her out of kindness. Qin Feng had added poison into the pill. When the medicinal effect took effect, it would suppress Ling Yuna's strength. Ha ha ha! County Magistrate Xiao, you really are my treasure! Ling Yuna felt that the pill had already entered her bloodstream. She stared at Qin Feng and laughed uncontrollably. She calculated the time and the knockout drug was about to take effect. When Qin Feng fainted, she would snatch away this guy's treasure. Qin Feng pretended that nothing had happened and said with a smile, "Beautiful Yuna, what you said is wrong. How can I be your treasure? You are more like my little treasure." Qin Feng revealed a naughty smile and stared at Ling Yuna's chest. Ling Yuna's laughter suddenly stopped. She was so angry that she wanted to stab Qin Feng's head with her sword. However, before she could pull out her long sword, she heard Qin Feng continue. "That's right, beautiful Yuna, I have some doubts about cultivation. I wonder if you could explain it to me?" "What doubts?" Ling Yuna's expression was cold. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't see it. "Why are all the martial artists in the divine great land at the True Qi realm? Are there no lower realms?" This question had been bottled up in Qin Feng's heart for a long time. Ever since he entered the dead door, whether it was the thugs from the black shop, the bandits, or the bailiffs, they were all experts in the True Qi realm. It was as if there was no inner Qi realm here. Ling Yuna looked at Qin Feng strangely and said, "Are you from here or not? The divine great land's spiritual energy is abundant. Stepping into the threshold of cultivation starts from the first stage of True Qi. Do you think there are lower realms?" Qin Feng was shocked. The divine great land actually started from the first stage of True Qi. He suddenly thought of the system's heavenly blessing and earthly cave pavilion. When he first unlocked this interface, Little Pig said that if one cultivated in the heavenly blessing and earthly cave pavilion, they would directly start from the True Qi realm. The spiritual energy in the divine great land was as thick as the heavenly blessing and earthly cave pavilion. It seemed that this was simply an enlarged version of the innate cave pavilion. Ling Yuna still stared at Qin Feng suspiciously. The suspicion in her heart grew stronger. There were realms below True Qi, but those realms were the inner Qi realm of martial artists in the outside world. Ling Yuna had just returned from the outside world and had some understanding of the secular world of China. "Why aren't you saying anything? Could it be that you know there are realms below True Qi realm?" Ling Yuna asked in a low voice. Qin Feng realized that this woman was somewhat suspicious of him. He said unhurriedly, "Beautiful Yuna, what's wrong? Why are you being so serious? How would I know what realms there are below True Qi realm? I haven't even broken through to True Chi realm, so I don't know anything. That's why I'm asking you. Ling Yuner had long discovered that Qin Feng didn't have any true Qi fluctuations on his body. Indeed, he hadn't stepped into the path of cultivation. However, when she thought about how she wanted to snatch the spirit sword from Qin Feng's hands at noon in the Great Hall, she thought it was a bit strange that the brat could avoid her. However, she couldn't figure it out for a while, so Ling Yuner focused her attention on Qin Feng's treasures. Compared to those spirit weapons and spirit pills, Ling Yuner was too lazy to care about what secrets Qin Feng had. County Magistrate Qiao, what other spirit weapons and spirit pills do you have? Take them all out and let this little girl have a look. This woman was indeed sinister and cunning. She was cold just now, but now she was smiling at Qin Feng. However, Qin Feng couldn't take out his spirit weapons. Previously, he had fought with the Extinction Sect's disciples in the outside world. He had used the Golden Phoenix, the Golden Wheel, the Rainbow Demon Storm Spear, and other super spirit weapons. If he took them out, Ling Yuner would definitely find out. Beautiful Yuner, I've hidden all those spirit weapons in the secret room. Tonight I only have one spirit gathering pill on me. When I'm free, I'll take you to see them. Qin Feng casually found an excuse. Ling Yuner felt suffocated. She could tell that this Xiao guy wasn't stupid at all. He purposely hid the spirit weapons to save his life. Ling Yuner couldn't really kill Qin Feng. After a moment of silence, she suddenly said something else. County Magistrate Qiao, you have to keep your word. I'm waiting for you to take me to see your collection of spirit weapons. That's right, there's another matter I need County Magistrate Qiao's help with. Recently, there's a brat who was blind and offended the Spirit Beast sect. Our sect leader issued a wanted order. This is the brat's portrait. Put up the notice tomorrow morning. If anyone can provide clues about this person, the Spirit Beast sect will reward them with 10 taels of gold. Chapter 1366. Qin Feng glanced at the portrait drawn in ink on the white paper and almost jumped up. Wasn't that him? Magistrate Qiao, why are you so excited? Have you seen this person before? Ling Yuner stared at Qin Feng and asked. Qin Feng quickly calmed down. He was glad that he changed his appearance to Qiao Feng and entered the Despair Gate. He shook his head and said, I've never seen this person before. I was just shocked by his handsome appearance. Beautiful Yuner, what did this handsome guy do? What a pity! Ling Yuner was so angry that she rolled her eyes. She wanted to kill Qin Feng, but this Qiao guy said he was handsome? Magistrate Qiao, why are you looking at me like that? This person looks like a pile of dog shit. He's not even as handsome as you. Qin Feng didn't know whether Ling Yuner was praising him or scolding him. He quickly realized another problem. At that time, he almost died in the formation. Later, he killed those mountain bandits and left with Hua Xiaozhen. How could this Ling Yuner be sure that he didn't die? Otherwise, why would she put out a warrant for his arrest? However, Qin Feng didn't want to ask too much about this in case Ling Yuner became suspicious. He looked at the time and saw that the poison in the spirit-gathering pill had completely dissipated. Qin Feng's face suddenly lit up with an evil smile. Magistrate Qiao, what are you smiling at? Ling Yuner was very unhappy with Qin Feng's vulgar smile. Her pretty face turned cold. Qin Feng acted as if he didn't hear her. He stood up and walked towards her. When he first entered the Despair Gate, Qin Feng swore that the next time he saw Ling Yuner, he would definitely teach her a lesson. Qin Feng had always been a man of his words. Surnamed Qiao, if you dare take half a step closer, I'll make your head roll on the ground. Qin Feng had already walked to Ling Yuner's side. Ling Yuner's jade-like hand grasped the hilt of her sword, ready to attack at any time. However, Qin Feng ignored her. He suddenly reached out and hooked her chin, saying, Beautiful Yuner, didn't you look for me in the middle of the night to play with you? Why are you embarrassed? Ling Yuner was shocked at first. Her eyes were filled with disbelief. When she regained her senses, she immediately pulled out the sword. The long sword trembled, but it was caught by Qin Feng's 2 fingers. With a slight force, the long sword actually fell to the ground. What's going on? Why can't I circulate my jinqi? Ling Yun'er was dumbstruck. She looked at her own hands like a fool. Qin Feng had already expected this. He pulled her into his embrace and caressed her. Beautiful Yun'er, don't leave tonight. I'll teach you how to be a woman. Ling Yun'er was so angry that her lungs were about to explode. She was a dignified genius disciple of the Spirit Beast sect. How could she look up to a mere county magistrate? However, Ling Yun'er tried her best but was unable to activate her true qi. In the end, she used brute force to struggle, but she was unable to break free from Qin Feng's embrace. Xiao, you dare to touch me? Who the fuck are you? You're not even fit to carry my shoes. Hurry up and let go. Otherwise, when I recover my strength, I'll tear you to pieces and feed you to the dogs. Voila! Just as Ling Yun'er finished speaking, a few pieces of her clothes were ripped off by Qin Feng. Her fragrant shoulders and long legs were revealed, and a wave of fragrance wafted through the room. Ling Yun'er clenched her teeth so hard that they were about to break. She still couldn't understand how a mere county magistrate of West Town dared to lay a hand on her. Soon, she thought of another matter. She angrily shouted, You drugged the spirit-gathering pill? You lowly commoner, you're courting death. Beautiful Yun'er, how can a spirit pill be eaten for free? One spirit pill in exchange for one night is already very worth it. Qin Feng deliberately angered this woman. Ling Yun'er's clothes had already been torn to pieces by Qin Feng. She gave off a wild and seductive feeling. Gotcha! However, at this moment, the door was suddenly pushed open. Hua Xiaozhen entered the room and froze at the door. She covered her small mouth to prevent herself from screaming. She looked at young Master Qiao and Ling Yun'er in disbelief. Qin Feng abruptly stopped what he was doing. Being caught by Hua Xiaozhen made him a little embarrassed. When Ling Yun'er saw that someone had arrived, she hurriedly yelled at Hua Xiaozhen. What are you still standing there for, you lowly servant? Hurry up and call for help. Hua Xiaozhen suddenly woke up. However, she didn't leave. Instead, she walked into the room and locked the door. This action stunned Qin Feng and Ling Yun'er. They didn't know what Hua Xiaozhen was thinking. However, they saw her quickly walk towards Qin Feng and suddenly grabbed Ling Yun'er's struggling hands. Xiaozhen, what are you doing? Qin Feng looked at her blankly. Ling Yun'er angrily shouted. You lowly servant, you dare to grab me? Hurry up and let go of me. Believe it or not, I'll find a beggar on the street to do you. Hua Xiaozhen was a little angry, but she ignored Ling Yun'er. She looked at Qin Feng and said, Young Master Qiao, you want to do this woman, right? This lowly servant will help you control her. Qin Feng suddenly froze. He felt as if his view of the world had been turned upside down. Were all the maids of the divine great land so understanding? Qin Feng wondered if he should bring a dozen of them back when he left. Ling Yun'er was still shouting. She looked down on Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen. Qin Feng was already angry. He wanted to teach this woman a lesson. Hua Xiaozhen grabbed Ling Yun'er from beginning to end, but she didn't dare to look around. However, when she heard the sound, Hua Xiaozhen was a little excited. She had slept with Qin Feng for a few nights, but young Master Qiao didn't touch her. She felt a little disappointed. Half an hour later, Qin Feng put on his clothes. Ling Yun'er was lying on the ground, covered in sweat. She glared at Qin Feng. If the true qi in her body hadn't disappeared, she would have cut Qin Feng and Hua Xiaozhen into 1,000 pieces. During this time, Sun Dao and Xia Long came by. They had the same goal as Ling Yun'er. They wanted to cheat Qin Feng of his treasures. However, when the two of them walked to the door, they heard Ling Yun'er's voice. They immediately became angry and secretly scolded this woman for not following the rules of a woman. After the big battle, Hua Xiaozhen retreated to the side. Qin Feng was a little embarrassed after he calmed down. He secretly glanced at Hua Xiaozhen and was relieved to see that she looked normal. Qiao, you can kill me now if you can. If you let me leave this door, you and that woman will be chopped into meat paste. Ling Yun'er was too lazy to put on her clothes since she had been taken by Qin Feng. She was so angry that her chest heaved. Qin Feng had to admit that the girl was beautiful and had a good figure, but Qin Feng had no feelings for her at all. He strode over with Moon's sorrow in his hand. Ling Yuna was so scared that she was trembling. Magistrate Qiao, don't kill me! Seeing that the sword was about to fall, Ling Yuna, who had been cold and arrogant a second ago, suddenly gave in. Hua Xiaojun despised her cowardly look. Moon's sorrow hung above Ling Yuna's head. Qin Feng sneered. Spare your life? You have to give me a reason. At this moment, Ling Yuna was so angry that her blood was boiling. Even if you beat her to death, she would never have imagined that she would end up like this. A mere Yamen magistrate was not even comparable to a dog in her eyes. But now, he had taken over her body and even decided her life. However, no matter how dissatisfied she was, Ling Yuna couldn't vent. She suddenly looked at Qin Feng charmingly and said, I can serve Magistrate Qiao every night in the future. I only ask that Magistrate Qiao spare my life. Hua Xiaojun didn't want to care about young Master Qiao's business. She knew that she didn't have the right to, but she couldn't stand Ling Yuna. This woman was sinister and cunning. If young Master Qiao kept her by his side, he would get into trouble sooner or later. Young Master Qiao! Hua Xiaojun called out pitifully, but she didn't say anything else. Qin Feng was a bit embarrassed facing Hua Xiaojun, but he understood what she meant. Xiaojun, go to sleep first. I'll go to Ling Yuna's room to talk about some business. Ling Yuna put on her clothes, and the two left the room. Hua Xiaojun looked at the empty room and sat on the bed alone, crying secretly. She thought that Qin Feng went to Ling Yuna's room to continue doing that. Now that young Master Qiao was bewitched by Ling Yuna, Hua Xiaojun was worried that young Master Qiao would abandon her. Qin Feng didn't think that Hua Xiaojun would think so much. Otherwise, he would have explained it to her first before leaving. At this time, the two of them arrived at Ling Yuna's room. Ling Yuna was about to take off her clothes, but Qin Feng stopped her. Do you really think that I spared your life because of your beauty? I don't care about your looks. Even my servant girl, Xiaojun, is 10,000 times better than you. Ling Yuna was angered to death. No matter what, she could be considered a beauty in the Holy Gate, and there were countless disciples pursuing her. But now, she was being looked down upon by a small county magistrate. This was simply a humiliation. Magistrate Qiao, what will it take for you to let me go? Ling Yuna could only suppress her anger and planned to deal with Qin Feng after she escaped. How could her little thoughts escape Qin Feng's eyes? Qin Feng said, The spirit-gathering pill I gave you is extremely poisonous. The poison will suppress the true qi in your body. If you forcefully use your true qi, your tendons and veins will break, and you will bleed to death. Ling Yuna was so scared that her legs trembled. As a genius female disciple of Spirit Beast sect, she stepped into True Qi Stage 4 at the young age of 25. Her future was bright, and she didn't want to die so easily. Magistrate Qiao, we have no enmity between us. Why did you poison me? Ling Yuna was puzzled. Qin Feng sneered in his heart. You woman almost killed me, and you said there was no enmity between us? However, he couldn't reveal his identity now. If that happened, he had to kill Ling Yuna. However, Ling Yuna came with Red Sun sect and White Song sect disciples. If she suddenly died, it would definitely arouse suspicion. Let me ask you, where is Spirit Beast sect? Qin Feng went straight to the point. Ling Yuna was stunned for a moment, and her eyes became vigilant. Magistrate Qiao, why are you asking this? I see that your Sacred Gate disciples have noble identities and are all skilled in martial arts. I also want to join the Sacred Gate. I want to go to Spirit Beast sect to be apprenticed to a master, okay? Qin Feng casually made up an excuse. Ling Yuna felt depressed. Spirit Beast sect was a huge sect. How could you be apprenticed to a master just because you wanted to? Only by passing the disciple selection once every 3 years would you have the chance to join the various sacred gates. Magistrate Qiao, you definitely can't go to Spirit Beast sect rashly. Not only will you not be apprenticed to a master, You might even be treated as an enemy and killed. Ling Yuna was very vigilant. She didn't reveal any information about Spirit Beast's sex location. You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.